Washington County. We also ask that you give us the strength and the wisdom to make decisions that are not just in the benefit of people across Washington County, but that are pleasing in your eyesight as well. For these and other blessings, in your Son, Jesus Christ's name, let us all say amen.
Amen.
And the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Washington County Board of Supervisors, now in session. Honorable Board President Carl McGee presiding, pursuant to adjournment.
Okay, on the agenda, any additions?
Yes,
I do see Commissioner Simmons on here?
yes, he's on.
Good. Well, and but if the board will allow me, he should be here around 9:30 and whatever we're doing when he comes in. I'd like to have the opportunity to go ahead and break in and just bring him on up and go ahead and let him present. Anything else? You had something else, Mr. Griffin?
Yes, number one, Mr. Hawkins' contract, we asked that be added to the agenda.
The contract of who?
Mr. Hawkins?
Robert Hawkins.
Rob Hopkins.
Yeah, that's AC at the Convention Center, right?
Yes. Yes,
Anything else?
that's all.
Not, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And the minutes. Any questions, comments, additions, or deletions?
So moved to approve.
I got a motion to approve. I got a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. E911 expenditures.
Good morning.
Morning.
The 911 expenditures for the month of August total $33,170.89.
Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any motion carries, that's unanimous. Of course, you show Supervisor Benson out. Go ahead, Dave, sorry.
Our mass notification system that we've been using, it's called Nixle, and it was offered through a company called Everbridge. Everbridge bought Nixle out right about the time we started using it. That platform is going away. It's not gonna be offered anymore. So I have reached out and found the two that were compatible with what we were using. I've got two quotes. One quote from Everbridge for $14,278.40.
That's annually or what is that?
Annually,
Okay. Okay.
And another quote from HyperReach. Get through all the weeds here. The HyperReach is $9,975 a year. And I'm,
What were we paying
uh,
in the past?
I think we're right about 9,000.
Okay. Okay.
I move that we go with the lowest quote.
Was there something else?
That's all.
Okay.
I move that we go with the lowest quote. Yes.
I got a motion, need a second.
Second.
If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous consent. Anything else, Dave?
That's all I have. Mr. Stewart needs to address the board
Okay.
regarding.
David, I need your quote, please.
Yes, ma'am. I'll get yours set.
Good morning,
Good morning.
everybody.
Morning.
Okay, last Thursday, after paying attention to the weather, looking at the dry conditions and what we call red flag conditions, that's starting to have dry air and a lot less humidity, which could cause wildfires and a lot of dangerous situations, especially for a lot of the environmental citizens. I issued a countywide burn ban, and the only exemption to that burn ban was for the Forestry Commission to do any back burning if we were able to call them or they came and saw a need to do one. Well, now, starting this week, our humidity levels going back up, along with our moisture level, and the inch of rain we got, possibly going toward the end of the week, I may stop that burn ban, but if we get the weather situation and come back again, to where we're getting a lot drier than normal, issue a burn ban before we have any problems, so that way we try to alleviate as many problems as possible.
Really?
How do y'all get that word out when you, cause you know, I have people call me through the summer and ask me about that. How do y'all normally get that word out on the burn ban?
Using that Nixon system we have,
Okay.
as soon as we go over Nixon, that's when the newspaper give us a call, now I do an interview, just let them know about the burn ban, but since, like I say, our moisture levels are coming back up, we may be able to get rid of the burn ban for now, but we still got the rest of the fall to go, so.
All right, we need a board order to go ahead and make sure that's part of our minutes.
Is it to ratify what we?
Ratify.
Thank you.
So moved.
And continue.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second. We're ratifying the burn ban. If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have a question,
Motion carries.
not on the motion.
Go ahead.
Would you finish?
I have a question, sir. When y'all sent out that broadband, did y'all send it out to like all the cell phones? But y'all did?
You have to be registered now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all tell me if you're signed up, that's what I was just wondering.
Yeah, but also, we're looking at getting ready to end it simply because of the rain that we getting this week, so we can get ready to end the burn ban.
I got that, I was just trying to figure out, I know y'all went on television, I just wondered if y'all sent it out to the cell phones about the broadband.
Okay, for no other questions?
I mean,
Any-
about the, burn, man.
Anything else for you all? Yeah,
That's it.
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank y'all.
County Engineer, Mr. Anderson.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I have, well, you can see the report is printed with the 32 bridges. Also, we're working on the advertising for the Department of Human Service flooring and advertising for Washington County Convention Center. And you can see the progress we're making on Fur Road Bridge. And also, I had two items. Did you want to bring it? Okay. The first one is the advertisement for Broadway Extended Project. This the other phase. This the plan, this the cost of it. It's $447,000 to do the section from Metcalf Road to the airport entrance.
Wait a minute, what is that?
The paving,
For what?
the paving for Broadway
Okay, starting,
from Metcalf Road to,
that's right there in the beginning.
Or from the city limits?
Yeah, right at
Yeah.
the city limits.
City limits.
Yeah.
right,
And this is, I need to see that one.
Okay.
What are you asking us to do, Ms. Anderson?
approved for advertising.
So move.
I got a motion and a second. You know, keep in mind, we've been trying to get this done for the last almost 4 years. And this year is almost over. And that project happened to be in my district. So I'm gonna have to vote against it at this late stage. I don't know if IMS will be back, and I don't wanna commit a contract to IMS this late. So I've got a motion and a second. If there are no other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Nay.
That's 2-2. No.
Okay,
Mr., please bring it back to the next board meeting.
okay, that's all I have.
I do have one question. On that though, how are you intending to fund that?
On the Broadway,
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, it died, so it was a county project.
Yeah, I understand, but
No, no.
we're over, well, 6% over our last year's budget already, so that, you need to come up with some money where you're gonna fund that from, on that part. Some ideas where that may come from.
So I got a question, so that was just a county project?
Yeah, that was the county. The
And
county already approved it, though.
Okay, I got a question.
Hold on.
So on that project, tell me, what's the length of the street, where does it go, from where to where?
It's from Metcalf,
Metcalf Road, I say the city limits.
right, it's
City.
the city limits,
To the
to
airport
the
entrance.
From Metcalf?
From the, if you're going from Highway
City
1, you
limits.
turn right on Broadway Extended.
Okay,
then
okay,
you
I
pass Metcalf Road, it
I
goes
got
from there to the
I
end.
just making sure he had no positive.
Yeah. Now, that's state aid road. And funding it is a question, but it's not the issue or the concern right now. But anything else, Mr. Anderson?
That's it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Road manager.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a couple quotes on a tracker that, needed some software updates.
Okay.
I had to replace a few things on it. Thompson Machinery is,
You got 2 quotes?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thompson Machinery is, $8,919.62. And I had a quote, from C&M Services for $9,064.95.
I move we go to Lois. Is that where you looking, sir?
Lois?
Thomas, Thompson, yeah, second.
I got a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else? All right, stick around for a minute.
Can I have a copy of it?
We need a copy of both of them. Stick around with Mark. Commissioner, how you doing, sir? It's always good to have you here in Washington County.
Thank you.
Thank you and your staff, Mr. Williams, and you all for coming down, the engineers.
Morning,
But
sir.
the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, Madam Clerk. Let me say how much, and Attorney, let me say how much I appreciate that you all allowing us to come in for a few minutes. Before we get to the real issue that we want to submit to you, and that's on the bypass, let me just say that Washington County continues to receive a lot of support from us. One of the big projects we are doing, and just about to complete, is the paving of Highway 82 from the Washington County, or from 61 all the way over to the Sunflower County line. And that's going to be very beneficial to us. We also are looking at our 3-year plan of working for the Highway 61 expansion. And what we're doing is from Leland to Arcola. If you've driven it recently, you may have seen some surveyors out actually surveying for the utilities, because that's part of our 3-year plan that we want to move towards trying to get Highway 61 4-lane. Now, we're not saying we're gonna 4-lane in the 3 years, but we started the process and we committed some of our pre-construction money to do those things necessary to get it to being shovel ready for that process. State statute requires us to do 4-lane highways in about 10-mile stretches, and so that's why we're dealing with Leland to Arcola in that regard. We continue to fund in other projects like Highway 1 for its paving, so we're gonna continue to do those things. You received an ERBF bridge, that's on the list that I gave you, funding for that, and we were very pleased to be able to award you those dollars that came from the state legislature for that. Going forward, the big question, and I saw the chairperson on the news media along with some of the staff, not staff, but community folks, talking about the bypass, and he and I had some conversation about that. We wanted to come this morning, and I have with me LaQuisha Williams, who is our office director in Cleveland, along with Eric Lynn, who is the chief engineer for this area, and 2 representatives, Stephen from Utah, to just kind of give you an update on where we are with the system. Let me quickly say, as commissioner, I'm very pleased over the fact we was able to do the 82 bypass. This project is the largest project that MDOT and the state has done during the past 10 years. It's gonna cost somewhere around $180, $200 million or more when we complete the project. But the first phase of it was around $136 million. We chose Utah as the contractor to do it, along with Baker to be the lead engineer for doing the project. They have exceeded what we anticipated, and they are ahead of the game. They've been very good in responding to everything that we have come with, whether it be the farmers complaining about potential drainage, or Ms. Brooks raising a question about one of the roads being repaired, taken care of. Everything that we have had come to us, and we bring it to Utah, and the engineer, they have actually got on top of that and made it work. One of your roads should be much better than what it was when we got onto it. There's going to be other improvements that we will make. The economic impact is just phenomenal. When you look at the number of employees that came out of Washington County is on that job now, heating and buying supplies. So Utah has become a staple of this community in helping us put the project together, but also having a serious impact on it economically. So I wanted to come to you this morning again to answer any questions that you may have. But before we do that, if it's okay, I would like for Earl Glenn, our chief engineer, who works on other things in the county, to address that issue a little bit, and then have Stephen from Utah to come up and just tell you what Utah is doing and planning on completing the project. We complete this phase of it, we've already hired the engineer firm for the next phase. Next month, we should be letting the second phase of the contract. So, Earl.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good to see you in Washington County.
Earl Glenn again. I've been before you before, talking about this project that we got going on out here. And I would like to say, I'm happy to report that progress on it is going very well. We are, I'd say, 50% done with that project now, as it stands. We got Utah, who is our contractor, and Michael Baker, who is the engineering firm who's been working under the leadership of MDOT to inspect and watch the project and make sure it's going through successfully. There are a few key points that Commissioner mentioned that you guys may have questions on. So I wanted to address some of those that I know about. One being, the number of interchanges and the access to the new bypass. So what we're working on right now is from State Route 1 back to Lee. That would be the east end of the project. So on that end, we've got one main interchange, and that's at 161 in Lee. However, there are frontage roads that are gonna run along the bypass to connect the local people back to the main access points. So at VFW Road, they will have an access, VFW frontage road north and south. Haxton Road will have access from the frontage road, Haxton frontage road north and south. So there will be two sides to that. Yes, sir.
I understand the furnace roads,
Yes, sir.
but why is it that people in the community, those areas, don't have access to the bypass? Just take VF&W Road. That's the first one you brought up. You're gonna cut that road off, then you got to drive down a distance where the highway, the bypass is elevated, go under,
Yes, sir.
and come back.
Yes, sir.
Why couldn't you have elevated it at VF&W?
Yes, sir.
Question.
I got you. Well, the main thing about it is, it's not really my call, but it's a designer's call on how that was set up. But just to explain, MDOT bought no access right away. And what that means is that's where MDOT pays an additional extra price to have, basically a project where driveways are not gonna be, and roads are not gonna be connected, every so many 100 feet. So with that, you get increased speed, you get better, safety measures, and, that is the main reason why you don't see most of the local roads having direct access at their interchange.
We're not happy with that
Yes, sir.
at all.
Yes, sir.
Anywhere where you're doing a frontage road and cutting off one of our roads, there's a serious problem. When MDOT did 49 South, you can't go 200 yards without access to 49. Spent a lot of money. MDOT's money is taxpayer money.
Yes, sir.
Don't cut us short up here.
Yes, sir.
We're not happy at all.
I understand.
What you have to do is take a look when you run that bypass through Washington County, and there's very limited to no access for people on the bypass to get off, or our people to get on the bypass. There's no potential, no opportunity for future growth. We're not just talking about 5 years from now. We're talking about our children's, grandchildren, things like that. You're cutting us off, and that land, we could have a lot of opportunity if you all would treat us right here in Mississippi Delta and Washington County like you've done it in Rankin County. Don't cut us short. We're not happy. If there's something has to be bought, use some of those taxpayer dollars and buy it. And give us an opportunity for some of that traffic. Don't completely just bypass us. We don't want that. I understand what it's there for, but we need people to have an opportunity to come in and do business here. If there were to be service stations, hotels, restaurants that could be built in that area. Now it's just desolate land and you're just bypassing it.
Well, now that according to what we're doing with this project, that is the route that we gotta go. And I'm not saying that what the future holds or what could be coming forward, further conversations, further discussions, after this project could lead to further interchanges being built. But as of this project, that is where it stands.
Well, as of this project, with those taxpayer dollars here in Washington County, we need some changes to that project. And I don't think it's asking too much for some consideration to be given. It's not cast in stone. There's still an opportunity to go out and make changes. You know, just like you build anything else, you build a home, you build an operating room, there's always an opportunity for modification if the people involved are willing. All we ask for is some consideration. We're getting beat up by our constituents because they're feeling like their property being devalued. One gentleman came to us and his concern was, now I gotta go around through a furnace road to get to my business because they cut off VFNW Road. Wasn't pretty. You know, we weren't happy. You know, we took a pretty good beating that day. And then you take a look at all the other roads, you're doing the same thing too. Don't do us like that. Lead in, Ms. Brooks.
My first question, you said y'all are 50% complete, is that with the first phase?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's not with the entire project, that's
No,
just the first phase,
no,
the
sir.
first phase of it?
The next phase will be bid out next month,
Okay,
and that goes from one back to the river.
okay. So as it stands right now, the off ramps, you have one at, it'll be one at on 82 Highway, correct? In Leland,
Yes, sir.
okay. Highway 1,
Yes, sir.
and then
454.
454, and then the other one is,
Rest of them are frontage roads.
okay, so there's actually 3 is
Yes,
all.
sir. There's 3 main interchanges.
Okay. As that project goes along, even if you know, and I'm like Carl, we've had some concerns and people, you know, are questioning that, as far as the potential growth, it is true, but even if it moves along, does it still have potential, even though we finish that, to come back and put those off-ramps on there? Is that possible, or is it something that needs,
Well, it's what goes along with it, and I didn't really get too deep into it, but it is something like changing interchanges that involves right away, purchasing people's property.
Okay.
And that is a lengthy process. A lot of that legwork goes on in advance of the project, so that when we get to construction, we mainly, we're basically zeroed in on the construction part, but the right-of-way phase and adding things like that would, basically, it either kill or delay the project for a couple of years.
okay. So, with, this project's been going on for how many years now?
20.
The plans has probably been 20 years ago, more likely, yeah. So what you're saying, if that happens, we'd have to delay the project to do those off-ramps, if that was even possible?
For an additional interchange, it would delay the project, yes, sir, could be up to a couple of years. To go back and get a design, then you'd have to go to the right-of-way phase, have basically acquisition agents go back and deal with the landowners to see how much they'd be willing to sell the property for. Then turn around and get that redesigned back into the plans again. There's also environmental commitments as far as us dealing with, anything from the pits that they have to use. So just too environmental work, a lot of pre-construction work that usually runs about 2 years or so on the front, on the beginning and end of the project.
Ms. Brooks?
How you doing? First, I want to just thank you all for the work you're doing. I mean, we really are very appreciative, but there are some concerns. Just following back up with some of the things that were said with the other 2 supervisors, we did have a gentleman come, and he does have a business. Would you consider looking at the intersection of Johnson Road and VFNW when you get a chance? Because it's a residential area, but it's also a business there. And they were really, he was very adamant. And I went and visited the road to see exactly what he was talking about. And that is a real concern for those people that live in that part of the county. The other concern is about the roads. I have called the commissioner several times about it. We had just done Con Road, we just resurfaced that road, of course. It's pretty much gone, I know you're familiar. Black Bayou as well. But the road that was not bought into was VF&W Road. VF&W is parallel to Bayou Road. And what we saw, a lot of trucks using VF&W because they were familiar with this community, even though it was not one of the roads that was identified, but it was most definitely used, and that road is gone too. So when it comes to resurfacing those roads, I'm making a request because right now they're not using those roads. I think you're pretty much almost done with that phase.
Yes, ma'am.
And so just making a request that we rehab VF&W Con and Black Bayou Road. And it's coming from 61 up to, I'm gonna say the bridge, I don't know, the bridge in that area.
I can invite,
Lee?
no one step
Lee?
up and,
I think Commissioner Simmons, do you have something you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I just wanna add to what Earl was saying on the bypass interchange. And we loud and clear, and we're concerned about the business aspect of it in development. So we will take a selection, but just to make you aware, the right of way was purchased and this project was started over 20 years ago. And the right of way and the plan was put in place. But when we became commissioner, in February of 2020, listening to you and the citizens, we wanted to move this project because it really had been taken completely off the radar, so to speak. We wanted to move the project, and one way of doing it was to apply for a federal grant. If we had made changes that you are indicating at that particular time or requested it, the federal government would not have funded that project at that particular time. And we'd have to go through this process of 2 years delay, and maybe get it funded or not. So we rolled the dice to say we wanted to get it funded, put the grant in, we got it, and we're moving along. But we hear you loud and clear. But just do know that we have this other partner called the federal government, and then all of these design regulations that we have, it would take some time. If we took the second phase, say we're not gonna build a second phase as a design, we actually would just have to shut down that second phase until we get all those approvals put back in place. So that's part of it.
Well, Commissioner, when you look at the second phase, and you look at the opportunities for an access point in the second phase, it's extremely limited. But it's just like at Redmond Road. You came in, they did 20 years ago and elevated for the bypass to go under. Actually made turnouts to have access. According to the plans and what you're doing right now, you're not even putting that back. That's on Redmond Road. Not even putting that back. And that's why I'm saying there's no consideration with this project that's been 20 years in the making, and we're looking at the benefit that we could have in this community 20 years from now. And that's why I'm taking the position that I'm taking. It's just not for me, but like I said, it's for the people that's going to come behind us.
And we like that. We hear you. So,
All right, Lee?
Just a couple other questions. When the first phase is done, would that be open for traffic before the second phase is
No, sir.
finished? Okay,
No,
it'll all
sir.
be opened at the
all
same
at the
time?
same time. There are some additional, features that have to be, we're adding, ITS, or which is like digital message board. So our plans are to pave, from Mississippi River through SR1. They already started paving from, Leland back to SR1. And once those two are complete, we will have one grand opening to open the whole thing.
And I guess my next question is, on the off-ramps, how do y'all normally design that? What calls for an idea? Y'all do it so many miles in any other counties that we've done? I mean, or the state has done, or the federal government's done? On the off-ramps, is that just, how does that sit? I mean,
How's
do
it
y'all-
set up?
Yeah.
All right, so mainly major routes, and in the initial setup of the project, there are some public hearings, public meetings. In the original setup, basically in the pre-construction phase, and when MDOT comes in, we don't just say, we're gonna put one here, we're gonna put one here. There is a discussion made, it could have been, with some of you or some of the predecessors. This project, like I said, has been on the books for a while. There were discussions made on where interchanges were gonna be and where the location of the route was gonna take, and that's where the plans kind of followed all of that.
So I guess what you're saying is this conversation should have been held 20 years ago.
At least 15.
You know,
Nobody
I'm-
paid no attention to that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I want to talk about another piece, but it doesn't have to do with the bypass.
It doesn't.
No, it does not.
Let me, can we stay on the back for a minute, because we got,
Okay, go ahead on.
please, and we'll come back to that.
Yes, sir.
Bring up who you want.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Stephen Burnout with Utah Constructions, Will Dagger, he's with Utah Construction also. I guess the main concern you guys may have maybe some of the local roads. I think you mentioned, how do you pronounce it? I would say Coogan
Biff
Road.
Cohen Road,
Cohen
Bayou,
Road,
Black Bayou, and Biff and Dudley.
Yes, ma'am. And when we first started the project, I mean, y'all saw our trucks was on 82, having to come down Coogan Road, having to get those bridge headers up, so we could access the job efficiently going
Right.
down the main line. And we didn't want to tear up no roads. I mean, that was a safety hazard for us, putting our trucks on the road and everything else, so
We understand that.
we quickly realized that we got to get off the county road. So anyway, and on Coogan Road, since we started construction, I know before we started construction, y'all just resurfaced it. Y'all had
Right.
PFD on it, and during the construction while we was hauling on it, I think we put up probably about 100 loads of stone on that road, about 2,500 tons, and I think we worked with some of your road supervisors, and I met with Mr. Tommy Benson out there also, and I mean, we are open to looking at different methods. I mean, let's identify some of the problems that we have helped create, but like I said, everything now is going down the main line.
Okay. Now, we've got our assistant county, road manager,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mark Johnson. He'll be the one who's gonna be interacting with you.
Yes, sir.
Come on up, Mark. And he has some issues some concerns, I hope, that I want him to share about the condition of certain roads. Right? Come on up.
We were just looking at, like I say, VFW, Black
Can't hear you.
Bow, VFW, Black Bow, and,
Corn.
now Coogan Road, Coogan Road was first. Then we got them off that because of the safety. We put a big pipe in on Black Bow
Right.
and got them going that way. But, the thing is, we've done a lot, and I have talked to Will a lot, Will Thacker here a lot, and, they did offer to give us some material to help fix the road, that they had left over. But we just need to get in there and try to get some help fixing it.
Okay.
If they can get us, they have graders and stuff too, and it's hard for us to pull ours, so if they can help us with that material and get in there and put it on the road and,
Lee?
Is there any roads that y'all are done far as using? I mean, or is everything still active at this time, or?
99% of our traffic is off
Oh.
of any local roads. I mean, we discourage anyone from using local roads. If you pick up trucks, it don't matter. We try to stay off local roads, period.
Okay.
So to answer your question, yes, but I'm not gonna say we may not have a instance where we gotta, take a load of materials or something, but for the most part, 99.9% of all the traffic is off the county. The worst is done. The worst is done, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess the concern is coming to those 3 roads, will the state come in and rehab those roads, or how is they gonna,
When it's all
matriculate?
said and done, when it's all over with.
Yeah. Well, actually, they're not using those roads anymore. I mean, the citizens are really, really upset. I get calls on the norm. I'm just trying to identify how we're gonna move forward to rehab those roads. Will the state do it, or what?
Were most of those roads chip and seal?
No.
Wakan Roads was chip and seal. The other 2 were really blacktop, and then
Okay.
some part was blacktop and some was chip and seal. So,
But if you get with Mark Johnson, we prefer having asphalt. We prefer having asphalt.
I agree with
You know,
you.
it's nothing like making the conditions a little bit better than they were when you came. And that was the understanding we came when we met, all the representatives from Utah, the owner, along with the commissioner and everyone else. We want to be in better shape than what we were when you came here, and hopefully that commitment still stands. Now, Mr. Johnson right here knows where all the roads are that you may not need access to anymore. And if you all would take the position of starting to do the repairs that the supervisors are asking you to do to go ahead and get those roads back up to better than what they were. We really appreciate it.
And I will say, within the project limits,
Mhm.
where right of ways, say like Coon Road with bridges going over it, all that will be asphalt under this contract. I mean, I don't know what the limits are, I don't know exactly, but I was right away to right away. I think it's from right there at the intersection of Black Bio going back to, just about to that small
To
culvert.
061.
Okay. Well, help.
I think it does a quarter mile each way. Something like that. Something
Well,
feet.
We would be willing,
Yeah,
if he got the list of the project, we would be willing to go look and see what we can do.
Okay, so on VF&W and Black Bayou, it starts on 061 and goes east all the way up to the bridge. Well, a little past the bridge, over there, Red Wine.
There, Mark knows.
And I just want to get you to understand that we start on 061 and going east to ensure that area is taken care of.
We can meet up out there and give them,
Okay.
give them hours and everything, what we do.
No.
The
but
biggest
Mark-
thing that y'all are all working
Go out
closely
there.
and see what's going on. We have a better
If we
understanding
get
of
any
it.
calls, I mean, Mark's calls, we try to act on everything, if there's any issues with the public, I mean, we try to address those as soon as we can,
Okay.
the ones we know about.
All right.
Like I was saying here recently, they called and gave us a bunch of raw material that they haven't been using anymore. We need to look into getting that and building the roads up and where they're loading stuff too, you know, do all that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lee.
No, I'm just saying.
You know, we also have our mayor with us. And one thing that I know he's concerned with is the opportunity for traffic on the bypass to access Greenville or get close to Greenville. Mr. Mayor, you want to share something?
It's always good to be in the midst of good commissioning, like Commissioner Simmons. I just want
He doesn't vote here, Mr. Mayor. Go
Yes,
ahead.
That's right. Mr. President, yes, sir. We've had that conversation in making sure with the bypass that we don't bypass at all Greenville. And so we've been talking to the commissioner about signage, where Harlow's coming into the commercial district, where you come into where you have the box stores, but also in the area you come into downtown. We know Harlow's will be to the left, but we also want folks to come and look at Trop Caesars as well. And so we can talk about the signage, what that signage looks like for the Chick-fil-A, the Goodwill, the Jack's, but also for downtown Greenville, where the courthouse is gonna be as well. We wanna see what that signage look like to get folks coming in. We understand the public safety concern with the freight traffic, getting the freight traffic from the bypass or the Greenville Freight Corridor coming around, but we want all other traffic that come into the city for commercial and economic development.
And what we need to do is sit down, do this real quick,
Yes, sir.
have a meeting with the commissioner
Yes, sir.
and the engineer, and talk about opportunities to get some of that traffic into the community.
Yes, sir. I also be
That's,
remiss
go ahead,
if-
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention our airport. Mr. Sam Washington is here for this meeting as well, and so we want signage directing folks to the airport as well, because we have flights going to the east, to Dallas by Contour 30-seat jet plane, but also looking at other ways that we can access some funding for the betterment of our airport as well.
All right,
Mr.
if
President.
you would find time over the next 2 weeks for us to sit down and talk.
Yes, sir.
And have a conversation so we can kind of meet back, with the commissioner
Yes, sir.
and share those concerns. Now, I'm gonna say this to you, I don't want you to be upset or mad when you find out that they're not gonna do it.
Okay, I understand.
But we gonna still have the conversation.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the commissioners and the supervisors around this table. Y'all do live in Greenville, and so y'all do vote. And so I want to thank y'all for y'all's service to the folks of Washington County as well.
I'm a Leelander.
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Okay.
Hold it, Mr. Mayor. Commissioner.
And if you all would submit, even before this week, this meeting you're speaking of, but if you all would give us a list
Okay.
as to where you want the signs, then give us an opportunity to start working around to get folks to get that in place. In addition to that, as you talk about your interchanges, giving us information on your plans for developing the area around and bypass, would just be information we would have to put into our system as we look at how we can address concerns you have
Okay.
along Front Road and or the
Okay. And it's just like anywhere else, Commissioner. We believe in the theory, if you build it, they'll come. Even though we might not have blueprints or drawing for developing properties or acreage here or there, But if we had access to that traffic on that bypass, the commercial or the economic opportunity would triple itself, if not quadruple itself. We just need to make sure that the access to that commerce going around the bypass, we get an opportunity to at least get some of it off. And let me ask you one more thing. I'm sorry. Anybody else?
I do. I still have a question about Highway 82 I want to address once we're finished
Come
with the
on.
bypass, since you said we didn't discuss it further.
Well, we're going to be finished with the bypass in just a second, Commissioner. We have an issue or a concern that we're going to need your help with, and that's lighting at Stokes Kings Road and 82. And, we'll get with you. We want to basically light that road up. The feedback we're getting from our local power providers is they don't have the poles with the reach to light that property up. So we're going to need some help. If we can't get it from
What's the intersection?
Stokes Kings Road, 82, and we want to light up Stokes King all the way. And what we'll need is if you'll give us a contractor, we could probably that could assist us. If you can't do it, we'd really appreciate any help we could get from MDOT.
That's included in our conversation. But I will say, Washington County, of the 22 counties I represent, Washington County's got more money the past 4 years than any other county.
Well, don't stop now. I got to go to Ms. Brooks.
On Highway 82, driving east, when you run into Clay Road, those blinking lights you have at the intersection of in Leland, we really need some there, and it's really for tractor transfer trucks. When they're going up to that area, they really don't know what to do. You got all those trees there they can't see, but if they had those blinking lights to let them know what the light's gonna do by the time they make it, that would make a big difference with 18-wheelers. Also at the intersection of Highway 82 and Reed Road as well, that other location. Those are two major areas where tractor trailers, they have incidents there, but also just, being proactive and reducing accidents and liability in those two areas.
In Leland, there is an interchange that would be on the bypass. Let us complete that work, because when we complete that work, it is going to change the flow of traffic and everything in the Leland area because of the interchange in the 161.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and 82 and 90 bypass. So it's a lot more work has to be done, and the average person probably look at it right now and doesn't get a good feel for what it's going to look like. Vince, you want to add anything to that?
I would like to add that there's going to be a detour coming up in that area off of 82 in the next month or so. And so also blinking lights right at the moment might be kind of confusing, but we can definitely before the end of the project.
And the reason why I bring this to you is really during harvest season, okay? I'm not sure if y'all see a lot in the neighboring counties, but in Washington County, a lot of trucks are coming in, they're going to farmers' grain. And so that's why I'm bringing it to your attention, because last year it was really chaotic. The harvest season's gonna always be busy because they're taking the seeds to farmers' grain, and that's gonna be a real concern. And that was some of the concerns I was hearing from truck drivers, that they cannot see the light coming up in that area. And during this time of the year, you're gonna see probably about almost 1,000 trucks coming into this area. And I'm just trying to identify ways that can be proactive to make it safer on our roads.
And let me get those right. It was US 82 at Reed Road?
Reed and Clay.
And Clay.
Yes. Thank you.
Lee?
Y'all doing a great job, everybody. Commissioner, you're right, I do see the money being spent. I really do see things happening, but I just wanted to personally thank you that 454, of course, Highway 1 South, that's in my district, and the lighting there has just been a game changer. There's been a lot of accidents a lot of people lost their life right there at that intersection over the years. And I've had calls over the last few years to light that area and that intersection and the signage coming into it. It has been a game changer, and I want to tell you, I appreciate it. Y'all are doing a great job, and we do see the money being spent here. I really do. Every time you look around, something's going on. So just keep up the good work. We appreciate it.
Commissioner, if there is, I'm sorry.
This is a little bit off this, bypass. I'm so bypassed, where Hollandale is, and so bypassed where I ain't concerned. But I'm concerned deeply about the intersection at 61 and Highway 12, two state highways. I had a lot of people got killed in those intersections. And I just asking for some light as far as caution. They even brought caution lights all the way up to that intersection, and they didn't put any lights at that intersection. I mean, I'm trying to hope that we can get a four-way stop sign there, so with lights, so it will at least just have a fender bender instead of being fast enough to kill people. And we really need to put some attention on that intersection, because the intersection is not cross. When you pull up in the intersection, you have to kind of turn so you can be able to see the traffic on there. And my next concern is, I think Hollandale Simmons High School is the only school in the country don't have a flashing light nowhere on Highway 12. You know, we had a conversation about when they put the gate out there, but I was telling them to put it out there. Maybe if 18-wheeler hit that thing, will slow it down so it won't get the school bus so far down the road if they had an accident there. But that is some of my concerns, is some flashing caution light at the school, in the school zone. We just
Safety lights, caution lights at the school and the intersection of 61 and 12. So we have done some safety enhancement at a lot of our intersections. What we would do is, between Boucher, Earl, myself, and the staff, we get some data on accidents and fatalities, and look at what we can do to enhance that intersection.
All right, anyone else on the board? Commissioner, whenever if there's anything that you need from us, don't hesitate.
Let me thank you all so much for everything that you all have done. And Supervisor, thank you for your remarks. Your chairperson, your attorney, Chairman Supervisor Muller, Supervisor Redmond doesn't bother me much. And the mayor, they called me up till about 12 o'clock at night. My wife sick with the phone down on the phone. They are truly representing you and encouraging. Tony Griffin one day was traveling on Highway 61 going through the big metropolitan town of
Belzone.
not Belzone,
Elizabeth.
And he called me about the railroad track. We thought we got that fixed. We went out there what we could do with it and had the railroad company come out. But we are restricted as a department to interfere with railroad tracks.
Yeah.
We can't just go out, even when it's on our highway, and repair it. We gotta go through the railroad system. And we've been working with Earl and the railroad, man, on that line, how to go about getting that fixed. So,
And you know, it's interesting, it's broader than that, because the railroad will not repair it unless they get permission from the railroad administration. The Federal Railroad Administration is crazy as can be. I mean, you have serious problems on these crossings, yet you gotta wait for approval from the Railroad Administration, Federal Railroad Administration, in order for them to do any work. But I called you because I torn up a tie.
All right. We appreciate y'all.
sorry we took so long.
No, not a big deal. We appreciate you coming by.
I said quite a few.
Yeah. I just bought the tie the week before.
Thank you, Mr. President.
No, thank you, man. But we gotta do this real quick. Real quick. All right. No. This week. All right, we'll do it. We'll come up and buy you lunch and have the mayor pay for it. I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor Reverend. We appreciate it.
For the month of August, we had 8 building permits issued, and the monies for this month for August is $263.50. And the monies collected year to date is $21,610.50.
Questions, comments? Need a motion?
So moved to
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
No, sir, thank you.
No, we appreciate you. Believe Ms. Brooks from Justice Court, she's out this week. Mr. Gales? Mr. Gales, we have your report. Anything you need from us?
I need the request for travel fall training, 17 through the 20th of October.
So
Have a-
moved.
I got a motion
Second.
and a second. Mr. Gales, what's the cost of that training?
It's gonna be, estimated cost, it's, $542.29.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Make sure you get that to the administration officer, if you would, please, sir.
Already has,
She does.
yes, and
You got
Yes,
it?
yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you.
The other day you had an incident, you had an opportunity with a veteran. How did you get that resolved?
this guy called me back from Jackson, and I turned over to him when it was Friday. She's down at Jackson today, I think, also. So I guess he headed to come down and talk to her.
Okay.
But past week, I had already went over to, I had an opportunity to go over and meet these people round table in LaFleur County.
Greenwood, okay.
I came up, I talked to them about the same problem that we have in Washington County that y'all bring up to just a few minutes ago about what can we get in the Mississippi Delta. Everybody tell me, these people from Secretary of the VA was there, people from Atlanta and all around the world were sitting around this table. Everybody said they got all these programs for people, but the programs are not hitting the Mississippi Delta, Greenville. I tried to explain to them, it's cutting off at a certain part outside that 100-mile radius that hurting us in Washington County. All this grant money and all the rest of this stuff, this is not getting to us, but they're giving it to everybody else and feeding to everybody else. I guess I just like I told the people when I would, I made them a little, what's called, but I tell them I go everywhere and I tell them we're not bringing anything to Washington County, to deep in the Delta. But every time somebody come here, they won't tell me they got all these programs set these people in front of us around the round table telling us that they got money and funding for us, but that's not true. That's not hitting us. I've been fighting this and fighting this. I guess I've been on a platform trying to tell them they got to change some laws or something that can put Greenville on the map or the Mississippi Delta on the map, because we are not getting anything. This funding is going for people in Hines, all these other counties.
Okay.
But when they start to flow this way for veterans, I tell veterans right now, program they got homeless and all this other stuff, they come like take care of veterans. When they get down here, hey, it's shocking. All these people talking about they got people places that a veteran can go to and get help. That's not true when they get to here. They want people to move out of here to move back to get on certain things to help them.
Okay.
On this hood, fashion, all the rest of that stuff. We got a waiting list over there at South Delta for veterans to try to get a voucher to try to get a place to stay. It didn't, when I brought this up to these people over there, everybody told me they'd get with me. But when they started running from me, I knew what the deal was, because I bring this up. Once you bring something up that you ain't getting federal funds and federal money and everything to help in certain areas, that make sure that everybody getting the same thing, because they fought for the same thing, then people get on the edge then. They get on the edge, transportation wise and everything. So we are coming up short.
Yeah.
We can talk about it and go to meetings and stuff and sit around the round table. When you sit there and talk to them, these folks run from it.
What I like, let me put you in front of someone who's real close to the congressman. And
Congressman was there also.
what did he say?
There you go. Everybody ran from me now.
Everybody ran from
They
it.
see me coming and I got a word for all of them. Congressmen, senators, and all of them, I have a word for them. When they already know who I am when they see me coming. hey, people take off on me now, because I've been here long enough. I know what we get and what we don't get, and who's taking care of where in different places,
Okay.
and what's funding that's coming in here.
Oh.
It's somebody needs to put some funding, more funding, but we can't get that funding because it's outside of a certain area. USDA and all these people sitting there at that table inside the convention center over there, you should see, they had 20, 30 people sitting around there. Everybody said, we got grant money that you get, but that grant money that you got to have certain things that you can get down here, and that grant money ain't coming here.
Lee and then Ms. Brooks.
The counties that's getting this, some of the grant, have you talked to some of their veteran officers to see what they're doing maybe that we can do differently? I mean, have you talked to them and see what they're doing? I mean, the same people in your position in these counties that are receiving this, have you made any kind of connections or talked to them?
I talk to these people on the national and the state, cause I'm a part of, I'm a board member on our county veteran service office. It's just like I said, we are building nursing homes and everything else down on the coast, but we're not bringing them down here. When the federal funds come this way, we are falling outside of this area that population-wise are trying to take care of. When they go down to population of veterans, we got veterans here that's getting funded, but the population-wise, somebody, when they go to their meeting and sit around the table, they sit around and try to figure out, I don't want to say this the wrong way, how to rule somebody else's hand to get something in their own district that we are not getting in our own district.
I guess from you as the officer here, the Veteran Affairs officer, is what I'm saying is we need to, more than just to say, hey, we're not getting it, you need to bring to say, this is exactly why we're not getting it. And anything as a county board we can do to help you, then we need to know exactly what that is so we know what to do. That's what I'm saying. If you talk to some of those officers in the county, say Hinds County, that's receiving all this, to say, hey, this is what we do differently from you in Washington County, and give us some ideas where we need to go and to assist, what we can to help you in your job. So we need more of a detailed kind of how we get there to where we want to go. Because I believe I believe, we're not receiving it. So, but again, I guess that's why we have you, so you can come back and relate, this is what I need, this, and this, to be able to do this. And then we can look at it and say, yeah, we can assist in that. So I believe every word you're saying about, we're not getting it, but just help us to help you, I guess what I'm saying.
What we have a problem in is Washington, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna pull his name, Washington, Sunflower, Bolivar, Sharkey, Issaquah, and some of the Florida.
What about Humphreys County?
And some, Humphreys County is falling into the same category. All these people that I talk to and I represent, because I'm on board, these veteran service officers, we got the same concerns, and we bring them up as we go to our fall meeting. We bring them up to our director, and he was also there.
What does the director say?
Director.
What does he say when y'all bring it to his attention?
Our director, I'm gonna tell you what our director did when he was in LaFleur County. I guess he didn't want to rock the boat, but he didn't open his mouth. That was, I sat here and I was the second person that brought this up. By this time, when I came up with the concern, because the other veteran service officers that I encountered, that I served around this district, I brought it up, and the fellow veteran officers came up with the same concerns that we have. All of us got the same concern, and then we go to our fall meeting. Everybody was trying to tell you this and this, but we got rid of the last man over the Mississippi VA. We brought another guy in. It might get a little better, but it's a work in progress to try to bring certain things back to where we at and see where we stand. But as we stand, I can come back to the board and tell them what's going on. But it's still gonna be a problem for veterans in this area that we don't get it, because on the federal platform, it look like the federal platform is not hitting us as deep down in those areas that veterans cover, getting the same benefit, the housing, the homelessness, and everything else. They are not getting, so when people move here, veterans move here from different places, they think the same programs are here when they come here, but you need to come here and find out that we don't have the same program that other states and other areas come healthcare has been the biggest problem, but we gradually coming up, we're trying to build up, but at the same time, we on a platform that we cannot, I said, we've been wrestling with it, we've been fighting with it, but it's a federal, it look like a statewide problem, because if I would stand here before you, if our governor would put more money in some programs in this area, instead of them focusing on the other bigger part, we would be in better shape, because we could get better money and we get better representation. We can have representation, but we don't get the money, but we can get the lip talk. But not getting the funding. Lip talk is one thing, but doing it is another thing. I just sat here and heard the same thing y'all just heard, and I brought it up. Transportation wise, we'll never get it, because the funding for federal would not bring it here.
We'll get some.
Can I,
I'm
yeah, I just
sorry.
wanted to
Yeah,
say,
go
yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, sir, because my uncle, he's a veteran, and so transportation is a #1 problem here. Because I saw with my uncle, if me or my mother does not take him to Jackson, he will not get to Jackson no way by VA. And I paid attention in the on the coastal area. They have a van that comes every day that's bringing veterans there, and so the concern is the Mississippi Delta area. But what I've been seeing, people have been navigating, people in the Delta, to go through Memphis, go through Tennessee, and they're getting more assistance than they do get through the VA location in the Jackson area. So I identified if there was a concern. I did talk to people from the Veteran Administration when I went to NACO, because they're very, very vivid there. And I did address some of those concerns. And what I would do, I would connect you with them where you could be more visible than I am, because you're the director, on what our concerns are, so we can start addressing those problems. Because housing, like you said, that is a #1 problem. When we have veterans don't have a place to live, and to hear that we have a large list with vouchers and we still can't place veterans there, that is a real, real concern of mine. So I guess the thing is, for the Delta area, maybe you guys could meet and start talking directly to the VA affairs on a national level to address your concerns versus just waiting on the state of Mississippi.
When I go to the national, I'd have brought this for a national stage.
But I mean, just
That's
start,
enough.
just start calling them, not waiting for the conference. We reach out to them and we very clear about what our issues are, so they have a direct contact. Where they're constantly talking back and forth, not waiting on the conference. We've been knowing and letting you know we have these problems. We need your help.
Because I'm certified through the national that we bring the same problem that we have all of them. Only thing I would say, when we call, I tell people we don't have place for them to go.
Right.
Some people say, but the other day we had the problem, but that problem was before that problem. We had problems before then with the same thing. So when we try to find something here around here, people to take them, people, it's getting to be a part that some place they have houses or places they get for federal money and open them up, but you can't open them up here. Everybody asks the same question. But that's just a concern that I brought to the board, that I did go to the meeting and I did talk to people that's Washington DC and from all over the United States, and I brought this concern. They said they take it down and they'll get back with me, or they get back and tell the director. But I'm gonna wait until I see this, until they can get me back, because I've been waiting for a while now.
Okay.
Thank you for everything you do.
Anything else, Mr. Gales? All right, Ms. Gales, appreciate you. We'll have to sit down and have a conversation, see what we can do to get this worked out some kind of way. Okay, Ms. Moore is not here. She's probably got her information with Ms. Carter in her office. Mr. Smith.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
I got a few things I want to bring up. The first thing is the signage in the front of the convention center. I got 2 quotes to get the signage redid. The letters, it started by Tanner.
Wait a minute, redid, what do you mean by that?
The Washington County letters.
The word
They did
Washington
letters.
County is not up there.
It's not up, most of it went down.
A lot of the letters
Oh,
are
in the
missing.
building?
Yeah, on the building.
Okay, when you
Letters
say
are
sign,
missing.
I'm thinking about the coming in and down the drive.
So I got 2 quotes on that.
Okay, what are they?
be from Mitchell Sign, it's gonna be for $8,975. And the second quote's gonna be from Manning Sign, would be $9,200.
I'm gonna go with the lowest, but I know it's gonna
I
cost
got,
them much.
you got some motion, Ms. Brooks?
Yes, sir. Did they give you a picture of what the sign is gonna look? Are they just gonna
What's the
replace the
specs?
letters or what?
It's gonna be the 3-inch signs.
What's up there now?
The three, I mean.
So you're just
the 3-inch
replacing,
signs. I'm
you're just
everything.
replacing what was there, yeah.
Replacing what's there. They're gonna paint and clean everything up what's up
Where's
there.
Mitchell located?
Mitchell's located out of Meridian, and
And
Manning's in Greenville.
Easy. Best.
I don't think that qualifies of, you know.
No,
Yeah.
but we've had work done with Manning before, and they do an exceptionally good job.
Well,
And they're the best one.
that work ethic, can we go with because they do a better job?
if you make a finding in your minutes to justify the reasons why you prefer the local as opposed to the Meridian.
We have experience with Manning.
Okay.
Their work in the past has been exemplary.
Okay.
And, you know, we're not familiar with anyone else. And with that small difference, I recommend this board that you go with Manning.
How about we go with Manning?
You got any other explanation, Ms. Brooks?
Oh,
I'm just
wait a minute,
following-
I made the
Right, wait.
I'm going off attorney.
I'm talking about to add on to it.
No, we done.
Because.
No,
when-
no,
when
I
you
got a
make
motion and I
finding-
got a second.
No,
I got a motion and a second, that's my finding.
Mr. President, but it's more than that. You gotta make a finding in the minutes.
I did. I just made those comments,
Okay.
based on the experience with Manning Sign Company,
you
and the
got-
exemplary work that they provided for us in the past.
All that's part of the motion. It
Yes.
has to be part of the
Yes,
motion.
that's part of the motion.
Okay.
I got a motion, I need a second. I got a second? Thank you, Jerry. Any questions or comments?
I do, and I think Manning, they do a good job very well, but I'm not comfortable with that because it's nothing, you don't know anything about the other people to say the reason you don't want them. And I'm a little concerned moving forward. That's easy to say that somebody does a great job and you don't know anything about the other company. So I'm not comfortable with that. I know it's a little bit different and I like keeping it at home.
Oh, no.
I appreciate you,
It has nothing to do with Home Supervisor Gordon. It's
I
just
know, they
like-
do a great
It's just
job.
like me, if I needed a surgeon, and there happened to be a surgeon that I've, had
I'm not arguing with you on that. Yeah, I
that done a
believe
good
you.
job for me. Basic surgeon, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand, but I don't know if that's grounds for that is what I'm saying. I don't know if that's grounds for it is what I'm saying with the attorney.
Shaky.
I don't know if that's grounds for that, if that qualifies.
And, may I say something?
If you can speak into your mic. You
The
got it
mic
right-
on?
It's on the back side of your jacket.
Okay. The critical thing when you're making these findings, you want some facts to support it, all right? For instance, they have done work for the county. The county, the work was commendable. They perform good services, and the differences in the cost is not that great. Okay, you're talking about $1,000 here. All right, you see my point? Okay, but you have to have, and I heard what Mr. McGee said with regard to what that was. And I assume all the supervisors are familiar with their work and so forth and so on. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a motion and a second. Any other questions?
Also, it's less.
All in
than-
favor?
$225,
It's $225 difference.
Ms. Brooks?
$225 difference.
That's my motion.
I got a motion and a second, don't I, Jerry? Thank you, Mr. Redmond, for the second. So no other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Got one nay. Motion carries.
Second thing, I was talking to Ms. Carter, last week, we had some, moors down, and she was telling me, and we told me, show me post some new ones, so she said we got money in the budget to get new lawnmowers.
What's wrong with the ones you got down? What's
The
wrong?
ones, I got one that just needed valve problem, and the other ones, they got like, two of them got like 3,200 hours on them, so they about 8 years old.
Okay. You got your quotes?
Yes, sir.
You talked to your equipment committee?
On the ones that you got 3,200 out, are they still running good though? Still going good?
One of them in the shop got need valves, you gonna probably need a new motor in a while. Gary was telling me of a John Deere.
Okay. grass season, well, of course, it'd be a little harder to get probably next year, but your grass season, you like about another month on it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
No, you gotta let
what's your quotes?
equipment committee.
Yeah, your quote.
You gotta
Would
tell
you-
them.
can you read them out loud to
Already
us?
now, okay. Ayers Mid Delta, two new 72-inch decks. They'll be $38.36.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Okay, $38.36.
That's for how many?
That's for two.
Okay.
What kind of mowers are those?
Those would be Kubotas,
What do you
And-
currently run?
or John Deere.
Come on.
Okay.
And the John Deere quote would be, for two of them, it'd be $26,766.38.
Are they
That's from
comfortable
the same
mowers?
company?
That's John Deere. One of them from Kubota's from Ayers, and John, but it's same, it's just same size dick and everything. Both of them 6-inch cuts.
What-
I
what-
would-
6 foot cut.
6 foot cuts.
I'm gonna go with the lowest, John Deere 26766.
I got a motion.
And that's for two.
That's for two.
I got a motion
Second.
and a second. And the horsepower and the engine's the same?
Yes, sir. 24.9 HP. And the other one is, this one's 25. John Deere got 25 horsepower.
Okay.
Make the same.
No other questions? I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I do have a question though. On those ones that you have, I mean, what do you, is there a trade-in value on them, or is there?
Nope.
No.
They don't
Okay,
order
so
you.
what are you gonna do with those?
Just keep it for spares. Just keep it in the shop.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right, the last thing. Multiplex building. Asking permission to try to find a full-time person, or hire a full-time person for the multiplex and holiday.
I thought we
For
had some
two.
part-timers that the lady come up here and was
We
working.
got some people to work. Did you?
Where that's
want-
coming from?
do that?
I ain't seen nobody. You talking about it, I gave them a name, but I ain't heard nothing else from them.
Now, when I last told the gentleman, he never called them. Cause actually I followed back up with it, cause Mrs. What's her name?
I think.
Lady came before the board, Miss
Who you talking
Allen.
about?
Miss Allen told me the gentleman never called.
Okay.
Now the lady did call. The lady did call.
What's going on at the multiplex? You need a person down all the time. What the hell? What's going on?
Events on the weekend stuff, me having to pull one person on my staff
On the weekend.
We have,
What'd you say now?
for the weekend.
The weekend. What is a full-time person for if you're doing something on the weekend?
Staff is like the convention center.
And I also keep
No.
it cleaned up and all that type of stuff.
hey,
Once it's clean, it's clean. If you ain't got weekend
we
events.
have business there, plus we're finna go and work on the bathroom. Somebody gonna need to be there. And I'm planning on somebody being there. And like that.
I'm gonna find two.
We have 3 days a week, and then not just on the weekend. We just had a baptizer or some kind of program for the church.
I'm just,
And
Go ahead,
my
Lee.
people call and say they are renting the multiplex, but they gotta come to Greenville. Everything is not centered around Greenville.
How much did the multiplex earn last? I'm sorry, Lee. Lee, it's on you.
remember that we were way over budget. We did not budget for this going into next year.
And it's not this
it'll
year's
be,
budget.
so that, I
Your
mean, I
staffing's
don't know where
locked.
you'd get it from.
Your
Mr.
staffing's locked
Yeah.
in the
Mr.
new budget.
Mr. Jeremy, I work closely with the senior citizen program.
That's right.
And I'm gonna follow up what we can get set up in Hollandale. That way we can get 2 people, you know, each one do 19 hours a week. That way it'd be fully staffed, but you just have 2 different people doing it. Okay, yes, sir.
So they'll be in the building all day, keeping each other company.
And we may even find 3 if they can give us 3.
It ain't going on in Medicare.
All right, what else you got?
That's it.
No, wait a minute. Now, there was an event this weekend at the convention center. Class reunion and a wedding. There was an issue with the wedding. Talk to the board about what's
Oh,
happening.
about the flooring.
Yes, sir.
We had a contract, well, I guess she was the event planner, and she put some type of contact paper down on the floor. It was stapled to the floor, and it was hard to come up with.
Glue. Is it up?
Yes, sir, they got it up this morning. Yeah, they fine, we got it up this morning.
But what happened was they couldn't get it up, and I need you to send pictures.
Yeah, they got the picture, and I went and bought some, contact paper remover and stuff, but it kinda like damaged the,
Tile.
wax and stuff on the floor.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to try to strip
This
it out.
past weekend.
What happened was, there was a wedding, there was an event on Friday, something, and a class reunion. And whoever the event planner was for this event, we had a contract with the person putting the event on, right? And you got that contract.
Yes.
But they hired decorator to come in and they actually glued something to the floor, a mural or something, and they couldn't get it up.
What?
The person that had rented the floor, the room on Saturday, was extremely upset and extremely disappointed because it threw off their decorations. And when you see the pictures, you'll understand how disruptive that was to the overall decor of the event that went on that evening. And they're asking for a full refund for Saturday. Now, I don't know how someone comes in, and I don't know if they ask for permission or not, to attach something to the convention center where it'd be a wall or the floor. But we're gonna have to stop allowing people to attach things, and we have to hold somebody accountable.
Is it in our contract? I mean, we may need to add that part to the contract as well.
No, it's not in there.
But we need to amend it and add that to the contract,
Okay.
so it can be nothing but clarity. So when there is an event where they will bring in a decorator, our person that works there can be real clear when they go through the contract.
If there's any damage.
Nothing can be added, and they will be held accountable to address the concern if damages are occurred.
Nothing
But
can
we're
be attached.
requesting not to glue or attach anything to the
To
county.
walls
So we
or
just,
floor.
we just need to amend that
Give the
contract and
attorney-
be real clear.
Be the attorney and add that amendment. But my question now is, number one, like he was explaining, it took all day Saturday working on it, a huge amount of resources. They weren't able to get it done until this morning. But
Can I say, do you have the pictures? I'd like to see what it was.
Yeah,
If
you
they're
can
asking
send-
for a refund,
they asked for a refund, and I'm gonna ask this board to support that. But now they'll have to figure out at the convention center what that amount is, because they initially had planned to go into the arena, correct?
Yes, sir.
And because of the issue with the AC, they moved to the 4 meeting rooms. And of course, that amount was adjusted. And I'm not familiar with the deposits and that kind of thing, but what I need from the board this morning is a motion.
well, I wanna just see what the difference it made.
You gonna pull it up real quick?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Pull it up and just pass it,
Okay,
so she can
okay,
see it
okay.
real quick. Real quick. But,
You sent it to my phone?
Yeah, they loading up now.
Oh.
it's doing what?
Pad these.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
Jeremy, do you know right off what the amount of refund, what the refund would be, 100% refund?
For the room, about $350.
Well, make sure that's what we owe. And, so I need a motion and a second to give a full refund to the particular party. I don't wanna call their names.
Was it a class?
It's a class reunion, yeah.
You got to call the name because it has to be reflected
Well,
in the minutes.
you know the name of the group?
That'll be Greenville High Class of '78.
Okay.
Okay, Green
And-
High.
And that lady will be contact person. Her name is Fisher. I think Joanne Fisher.
Yeah.
I think her last name is.
Yeah.
So moved,
You got a motion?
Second.
And a second. Full refund.
$350.
But we do need to look
I
at our
hope it's-
contract and specify of not, doing anything like that on the floors or the walls.
So you sure it's 350, not 375, Jeremy?
I think it's 350.
You can't think
I'm
because
gonna
it's
say
400.
no more than 400, that's my
No more than
motion.
400. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. But yeah, make sure you send everybody that picture, man, because that can never happen again. Jeremy, when you go up to the convention center at night, check the lighting.
I got it. It was a problem with Twin County. They were saying that it was a bill that we owed some bill, but it started from the sportsplex. So I remember when I had a problem getting the lights on for the baseball field.
Yeah.
So we've been back and forth. So me and Marcus Ross would be the office manager. We got 14 lights out. They marked and everything, and he was saying there's been a problem with the bill. So that's why they never came out and fixed the light.
But you got to help us understand. You got to explain to the board. You said sportsplex.
It's the office. They were saying we had old bills from the sportsplex.
All right, so how much are those old bills?
I turned it in to Paul and Chalisa already. So it was like they got different meals. Some like $36.
How much you need to get this board a total amount?
Alright, so I had to go over there and check. Cause when I get the little bills, I take them over to the office.
All right, but we need to go ahead and get that paid, right?
Yes, sir. It's just been a discrepancy. What happened is when they send the bill
Is it-
to Hollandale, and Hollandale had to send the bill back to Greenville.
And that's fine.
So it's in their office, really.
All right, board, you understand these are old bills from the sportsplex, right? Jeremy, is $500 gonna cover everything?
Nah,
$1,000 gonna cover everything, Jeremy?
about $2,000.
About $2,000?
Yes, sir.
What you got in
How
your
old is the bill?
years?
So why, I mean, I think the board from the sportsplex should be required to take care of it if it's
They don't exist
years.
anymore, Ms. Brooks.
But still, they there. I think they should be held accountable. If they got bills they had that's more, you know, way past the time that we picked the sportsplex up, the county should be not held accountable. Whoever's on that board, they need to be held accountable
All
for
right.
that.
Now, you know, we picked up all debt. We thought we had cleared up all the debt from the sportsplex. There was other debt as well, Mitchell Repair over here. And
That was the for the
Lawnmower.
lawnmower. We knew about that. That was brought to our attention.
Right.
I'm just talking about transparency at this point.
All right, this is just some stuff we didn't know about.
They were not
So
transparent
how
with
old were
us.
the bills?
Some of them like years, like 3 years old, 2 or 3
No,
years
I'm
old.
not into paying for another 3 years.
Would you
ago.
give us an exact amount?
Okay, I
Get us an exact amount, yeah.
Check with Paul, get an exact.
All right, get the exact amount. When is our next meeting?
Well, we'll be here at 6 tonight for the,
Yeah,
public
we
hearing.
need it.
Okay, I'll get
President.
Hey,
Can I offer this? The law say you can't pay a bill that's more than 3 years old.
all right, we good.
So,
More
we
than 3
need-
years old.
yes,
Okay.
statute of limitation.
All right, so pull that together. We'll make sure we get it over here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Shane.
Anything else? Any more surprises?
That's it.
More
Is that
Oh, I
it?
do have one thing.
Come on.
Jeremy, when you pull into the convention center, I noticed the other day, I know in the past, we've spent a lot of money on it. Those flower beds pull in, grass was taken over and a lot of different, you know,
We got construction going on now, so they should be ready for the blue stuff.
Okay, yeah, because it looked kind of bad pulling in there, so I know, like I say, over the years, we've spent money getting those decorated and stuff, so if you would, make sure those
Yes,
are good. Okay.
But tell him about the matting that was down.
The banner was down, well, we had, with the landscaper, we got a landscaper, and she said the matting caused the grass to grow.
It does. I learned
Do
it.
what now?
Matt, the
Oh,
mat you
the
put up in wheel, because it'll grow up under it. She's correct.
Whatever it takes for us to get it
right,
cleaned
we
up
got
looking
the
nice,
pictures
yeah,
on.
okay.
Miss Jones does a wonderful job. I got to
Yeah,
commend her.
but
She does
we
a
don't want
wonderful
grass
job.
growing up too. Otherwise, you know, you spend a huge amount of hours clearing grass.
Yeah.
Versus when you have the mat down.
Well, she
I have mats in my,
Yeah,
I have mats in,
She identified the problem.
I have mats in my flower beds, and I don't have grass growing up.
Yeah.
Through 'em. A little nut grass will pop up every now and then through a spot if you cut something. But to spend a huge amount of man hours going back, pulling grass, is a complete waste of energy and resources.
So is she looking to remove the mat?
It's gone.
Yes.
Okay.
It's gone now, that's what I said.
It's
we
gone.
rented some stuff. and
That's why you see all the
load
grass.
up and everything, so now we come back from the office, gonna give us some dirt, we put new dirt and everything out there.
So what you gonna do about the grass growing up within the planting? You gonna put a barrier down or what?
Yeah,
Now
we
keep
gonna
in
put some
mind.
game, we spraying game time out there, you know.
Oh yeah? And that's gonna work.
Should keep it down, everything gonna stop grass from growing.
How do you stop grass from growing up in a flower bed?
What you normally
That's not a
do,
trick
you
question.
keep treating it. You treat your bed and you keep it updated. Like the flower beds in Leland, there are no mats at all, okay? But the thing is, as long as you just keep maintenance of your flower bed, that's how it's at the end of the day, you have to pull it up. It may be a little or a lot, but when you put a mat there, you don't know that the grass, especially has air. If there's any type of holes up on the mat, the grass is going to grow, okay? You don't know it, and then it gets so strong, it overwhelms the mat and it tears the mat. So you got a whole pool of grass up under it. So she is correct, the mat does. Now, if you got somebody who's going to, cater to a little small garden in your yard, a little small garden is a little smaller than big flower bed.
It's just a huge, what is that? You good, Ms. Griffin?
Yes.
Okay, anything else, Jeremy?
No, that's it.
All right, man. Manage the time, your man hours in that flower bed. It's too much going in there. Appreciate you. We'll look forward to the information that we'll need at 6 this evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr.
Hey.
President, while Jeremy is here, we can go ahead with that bid.
That bid.
To approve that contract for Hawkins.
Okay, sure.
we can know.
Back.
Contract on what, Mr.
AC, Jeremy, you got Mr. Hawkins'
AC.
contract?
Yes.
Where is it?
Got a copy of it right here.
This is the Bob Hawkins contract.
But he's already done the work, correct?
No.
I thought Mr. Hawkins came in and did an assessment.
No, he did a report, but
Anything that we need to be aware
It
of in the
doesn't have a
contract, Griff?
contract.
Are you good?
No, I'm good with the contract. We gotta change to it.
Okay, so Mr. Griffin, this contract, didn't he do the work already?
No, he was about to, but there was a comment made in the board meeting, Ms. Brooks.
So he has not done any of the work?
Nope.
Nope.
The design is done.
What I'm saying, that's exactly,
Yeah, he was
he's
waiting
done
on
the
the
work,
Well,
but let's be clear about it now, he
Come on.
has done the work, we're
Because
just
we're
redoing it.
specs. Yeah.
He created the specs, that's, we're paying him for the specs, it's just that we put the cart before the
All right,
horse.
I would love to have the attorney.
we are paying for two things. One, the specs.
Okay, he's
Then-
done that already.
and
Then
Jeremy-
he has to
and
do
Jeremy.
he has to, do the, advertisement as well as prepare, the contract for the construction phase of it as well.
What are you saying, Mr. Griffin? He has to prepare what?
The contract for the construction phase
All right,
and oversee, the project.
So what are you asking us for this morning?
We never had an executed contract with him.
So what do you need this board
We,
to do?
we need
Approve
to approve his contract.
Yeah, that's what we was at, when he was here, that's
need a
what you had
motion.
asked. So moved.
Okay, I
And a
want
second.
point of information, I want you to just go back over what's in the contract before President McGee
Uh,
interrupts you.
I'm good.
The-
I don't know.
I
don't
need
go.
to know, you
Oh,
may not
for
need
you.
to know, I need to know what's in the contract before I take a vote.
The contract, let's see, what did I do with it? Short form, here it is here. Okay. The contract
Absolutely.
is, for Mr. Hawkins to serve as the mechanical engineer on the HVAC project at the convention center. For that service, his fee will be based on 10% of the contract amount based on the advertisement, okay? From that, he would get 80% initially and then 20% for the construction phase.
When you said 80% initially, this is
80%,
this is after we pick a company, am I correct?
yes,
Okay.
okay. And then the remaining 20%. You know,
After-
I had some issues with it, but he said that he had another contract with Washington County before we got here. Remember, he had one prior, and that was the fee that the board agreed to then.
When was this contract?
It was before you became a board member. before
Was it 10 years ago, 5 years
No,
ago?
no, it was, remember that was for the last HVAC project
Ms. Parker's
that was
office.
done?
Ms. Parker's office.
Yeah, the one that Mr. Jackson did out there. The design phase was before
Oh, gotcha, okay.
you and I arrived, okay?
Right.
And he was paid for that.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so I know you say you had a concern with that. What is the normal percentage in contracts like this?
10, 12%.
No, I'm saying what
You
percentage?
told him,
I got that part.
I'm
I'm talking about the percentage you paid.
With me, I normally recommend it, initially, it depends on negotiation, anywhere from probably up to the initial phase, up through advertisement, 60%, okay? 80% is not unreasonable, I don't recommend that, okay?
So, I mean, what do you recommend? 60%?
No, I'm recommending what the board did with him in the past because, apparently he's gotten into this and not, so he's done the design already, is that right?
Yeah, he's done the design
So
already.
Okay, all right.
So we had 80%, and then once the project's completed, get the other 20%.
Once the construction is concluded and he recommend that contract to be paid, he's entitled to the balance.
The other 20%?
Yes.
So we give him 80% initial and 20% once the contract is complete, is that correct? Is that what you're saying,
That's
Attorney?
what's in this contract, yes.
Okay, thank you. Interesting.
Anything else?
That's it.
Griffin?
No.
I move
You
that
recommend?
we approve this contract.
I need a second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Ms. Smith? You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Smith. No, let's try you this time. I'm sorry, sir. You, I'm sorry, I'm good. Sorry about that. Lee.
Air conditioner? Okay.
I have a few items for you all this morning. The first item deals with just for point of information, and if you would pass this around, I'd spoken with the board attorney regarding the news article that was printed after the last board meeting. It was not accurate. It did not accurately.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Information in news article. Come on, Ms. Smith.
Okay, the news article that was published regarding the allocation to Mason and Elks was not correct. It had a lot of misinformation in it, and I would ask if you all desire to address that, then I felt a need to do it, but I'm not an official of the county, so I didn't do it, so, but just wanted to bring it to your attention. I think that accurate information is very important as it relates to how you all spend your opera-related funds, but there was not an allocation made to Mace. The article indicated that it was. There was a title of the article. And just a point of information for you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Item number 2, Chambers Middle School. We have a few items dealing with Chambers Middle School. William Mills, who's the architect, the contractor has gotten to the point where they need to install the alarm and security system. So in order to do that, they have to have internet access to the building, and we're asking that you all approve that.
All right, do we approve it without numbers as far as what it's gonna cost? Or it's already in the original bid?
It's in the original.
Can I
It's
get a motion?
It's a part of that, but the county has to set the account up with Tech Info, I think it is.
So moved.
I got a motion?
Second.
And a second. The county sets the account up with Tech Info. Okay.
Yes, I'll get that
If
information
there-
to Shalisa, for that purpose of it, for that part of it. And.
All in favor of the motion, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Order. Change order.
Sure. The next item is item number 3, Chambers School Project. It's a change order number 1, requesting approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $1,500 to correct damage due to vandalism to a bathroom wall and replace a ventilation pipe.
Need a motion?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Was that in the
Questions?
project, though? Was that that money in the project, or is this an additional
This is
15?
gonna be an additional $1,500 to that project.
What, and so
From the same money.
yeah, what are we doing, I guess, with the security or whatever, hoping this doesn't happen again?
Right, that's why he wants to go ahead, we're gonna go ahead and expedite putting in the alarm and security system. And as you see on if you look at number 4, it's to go ahead and get Energy to install the exterior pole lights.
Okay.
We got a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Yeah.
Any opposed? Motion carries on the 1,500 additional fee.
That's on number 3.
That was item number 3. Item number 4 is exterior pole lights for security. And this is the formal request for Energy to install the needed security type pole lights at the project location for security reasons. The poles some of the poles are there. We don't think that they're gonna need to install any additional poles. But the large wattage, field lights is what they are suggesting. That's item number 4.
So, is all that in?
Hold up.
Oh, yeah, so.
Have they corrected that where they went up the pole and disconnected the wires or that was on the pole when they was getting?
Yes, they've done Energy has done all of the major electrical work that was necessary to provide power to that building. This would be to install the floodlights outside for security.
Send you a picture.
You just need approval on that, or just, is there a dollar figure to that, or?
Well, once they install it, the county's
county's already receiving
A monthly?
a monthly
Yeah,
bill.
gotcha.
And I think it's $7 or $8 per light.
Yeah, gotcha. Now, this will be something separate, though, that'll be billed separately, you know, not through the ARPA funds, but, you know,
It will become a part of the county's
Yeah.
existing bill
Yeah,
for that
gotcha.
particular location.
gotcha.
So moved, do
Okay.
take action on that?
I got a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
At the last meeting, you all
Golden Acres.
approved 3 modifications for the MCWI MDEQ projects for the water associations. We have finally received the actual agreements, which are sub-award agreements. Washington County becomes a sub-award recipient to MDEQ. So we have those. I have the 2 copies of each one of the ones for Golden Acres. It's gonna be numbers 5, 6, and 7.
All of them are the same.
All of them are the same. This is approving your sub-award agreement with the Department of Environmental Quality, and the first one is, the only thing different is the project numbers on that, on the contract.
Gotcha, yeah.
And if you all remember, the modification was because Black Bayou and Golden Acres had received a grant from the Mississippi Department of Health, they could not also receive a grant from MDEQ. So MDEQ suggested or made the recommendation through Butler Snow that the county be the recipient, and once the work is done, the county will convey those improvements to those water associations.
So basically, it's just filtering through us on those
Yes,
repairs.
that's
Yeah.
correct. Ms.
So
Hansel,
what do we
those
need to
are
do?
the 2 contracts with each one.
So moved.
I got a motion and a second that requires a signature as well, right?
Yes, sir.
All that's in there in the motion, Ms. Brooks?
Yes.
All right, Lee, you had a question?
I did. On those, can you remind us how much those dollar figures were that they received?
The county put up $260,000 per project,
Okay.
and
What did they receive on there?
they received they doubled it.
Yeah, I thought that
They
was.
matched it dollar for dollar.
Okay, gotcha.
For
Yeah.
each one of those.
So they were all equal amount on each water association?
So there's over
All
$1 million.
except Golden Acres. Golden Acres was its amount, I think the county gave 150, and MDEQ matched it 150.
Gotcha.
So that's
Okay.
300.
Right.
So we're
And-
looking at right at $1.3 million going to these, all 3.
Yes. The Golden Acres project is really almost complete.
Okay.
Mr. Hooker has informed me that they are nearing the end of the construction, and it doesn't affect the fact that the county's just getting the contract, because you look at the contract, it states that any improvement or any expense made or incurred after March 1st of 2021 is reimbursable through ARPA, so it's not a problem.
Gotcha.
But that one should be closed out within the next 30 days.
Okay.
Golden Acres. Winterville, they have received the bids on it. MDEQ is okay with the bid, so, State Department of Health as well. So that project should also pick up pretty quick.
Gotcha.
All of them are ready to go, so, Black Bayou is going out to bid. You all approved to advertise for that, at the last board meeting.
Right.
And I think those plans and specs, have you all received some plans and specs from them?
I received something.
I
I don't know if it was from Black Bayou.
Yes. Black Bayou, those plans and specs are complete, and that information has gone out to bid.
Gotcha.
So Lisa sent that out last week.
Gotcha.
The other thing that I have is the old health department.
Well, you didn't carry that one.
Oh, not yet, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith. I got a motion and a second. No other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Sorry, sir.
Okay, item number 8, the old health department, Hollandale Welcome Center report. The superintendent of the school district has been notified of the board's desire to receive the property from the school district for the purpose of creating a welcome center in the city of Hollandale. The attorneys, I'm suggesting that the attorney for Washington County Board of Supervisors, as well as the school district's attorney, develop that deed the school district's board. They're gonna take action at their meeting this month, and then that deed, I'm sure that their attorney will be in contact with Mr. Griffin about that. And, you all approved a resolution to apply for the home grant at the last meeting. This is just a handout relative to some of the new requirements. And it's, one of the major requirements is that now you must own the house. It used to be you have to have your home ownership 1 year. It is now 15 years.
What?
Owner must have occupied the unit at least 15 years as evidence of ownership and occupancy is required.
That's
So,
sick.
there are many changes to the home grant program.
That
So,
sucks.
it's just,
So I got a question about this. You didn't just kind of miss my
the
understanding.
questions, I appreciate those. I have included 2 contact phone numbers for the home court staff. Kim Stamps is the vice president for grants management. She's directly over that. And then Ms. Cobbins is the day-to-day hands-on person with the home grant program. So, but yes, ma'am. Your question.
My question is for people that have air property. This air property this has been air property for the last 10 years, 8 years. But the family member has lived there for the last 25 years. So they get the air property in their name. So will they be excluded even though they've been there the last
They
20
will-
years, but it was not in their name, it was in the mother's name or the father's name? They died, became air property, siblings signed everything off and gave it to them. Would they be included or excluded? Because that's gonna be a concern
In
I
the
run across in this
past.
area.
In the past, the requirement was that if there was air property, and you cleared up the deed, it was that the deed had to have been in the name of the person occupying the home for at least a year. That requirement is now 15 years. You must have owned the property must have been in your name, the deed filed in the Chancery Clerk's office must be in your name.
For 15
The name
years.
of the applicant. It says owner must have occupied the unit at least 15 years, and evidence of ownership and occupancy is required. You're gonna have to have a deed in your name, and you're gonna have to have 2 or 3 utility bills in your name.
My only concern is this right here. That's gonna exclude, I'm gonna say a large percentage of people, with this grant. I'm gonna say probably 90% of people. And I'm saying Washington County, I'm gonna talk about another area. I guess the concern is we need to reach out to Mississippi Home Corp to then, let them know that this won't be effective at all because a lot of people will be excluded from using these funds.
The Mississippi Home Corporation has a public hearing annually regarding all of their programs, and they always invite the public and the elected officials to attend those hearings. They have them, they have one in each planning and development district.
Do you know when they're gonna have the one here?
The one for the 2023 allocation plan, that is already, those hearings have been done. So
Wow.
it will probably be sometime January or February of 2024.
I still like us to move forward, but this is gonna be quite interesting.
One of the other things is, that at the meeting on August the 10th, they gave out all of what they call the new and notables. It doesn't affect me, but if you have a project administrator who has not done 50% of their grant as it relates to implementation, then that administrator cannot submit another application.
So I got a question, so like a planning district.
If they have
Oh, my
more,
goodness.
if they have applications from, I think it's 2018 to 2023, that they have not done 50% of the work, then they would not be eligible to submit an application. And that's statewide. And that, when that was announced, it was time for a referendum.
I can imagine it was.
But it's-
So what they will be doing to cities and counties, they would have to go identify a grant writer versus using a planning district if that's what they're using. I mean, there's not just South Delta, the planning districts across the state.
It's unfortunate, but the state, the way that they explained it, when Ms. Stamps gave that notice, HUD is holding them accountable. And they are right now dealing with possibly losing annual funding simply because those projects have just been sitting there. You know, you can't really justify requesting more money from HUD if you're not spending what you're getting. So there are a number of projects that are, a number of communities that desire to apply, they won't be able to do that, at least not through the existing administrator. Yes, yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, are we saying an owner must own and occupy, or just must have occupied for 15 years? Because when I look at the language, I don't see own and occupy.
Okay.
Okay, for
This
15 years.
This particular program is entitled the Homeowner Rehabilitation Grant
Yes.
Program. So, on here it says owner must have occupied the unit at least 15 years.
Okay.
And evidence of ownership and occupancy is required.
And you see my point, it says owner must have occupied, so someone could have stayed there 10 years and then purchased it and became the owner, but they did occupy for 15 years.
That's the correct
That
sentence.
deed is gonna have to be dated, what's 15 years, 2008? Their deed must be dated prior to October 19th, 2008.
And you got that understanding from them that it includes ownership and occupancy.
I have done the home program for a number of years.
Yes.
And when it was 1 year, I will reach back out to Kim and Jack and I say, can you all send me an email about that? And they'll do it. So it's unfortunate. It is gonna affect a lot of people because there are people who have been living in their property for a number of years, and when they would come to the public hearing in the past, they would find out, well, I'm not eligible this year, but they could go immediately and get their deed cleared up and put in their name and be eligible for the next round.
Yes.
Not anymore.
Not, 15 years. 15 years is
Okay.
the threshold requirement.
All right, that clear, Mr. Griffin?
Could want something like that.
All right.
I did find the specs and plans for Black Bayou Water. So.
Okay, yes, he just wanted to make sure that they were here prior to it going in the paper this week, and I told him that it should.
Yeah, they came from.
Good deal, good deal. All right. I don't have anything else other than, if you all would just schedule your public hearing for October's board meeting. And this is the resolution to apply that y'all approved on the 21st, just need to get y'all to sign this.
Do we need a pass order for you to sign it, Mr. President?
That's already been done.
Okay.
Ms. Smith, you will get in contact with me so we can follow up on what we talked about.
Okay.
Which one? Oh, yes, sir, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I sure will. Yes, sir.
All right, Mark, how you doing today, Mr. Lee? Oh, good.
Again, good morning.
Good morning.
I have the September recapitulation report. It shows us where we were over the last year. This time, take the top two.
Take the top two.
Yes, sir.
That's yours.
So if we look at the loan sheet, the short sheet is for the state. The loan sheet shows that we are up, $23,490,045. Of that, realty is up, $3,673.
Where you looking at this at? The loan sheet? Okay.
Net gain or loss for realty, middle of the page. Realty is up $3,673,362. Personal property is up $12,900,969. Autos are down Okay, mobile homes are up $176,540, which gives us a total for personal property of $11,560,990. So if you look over to the right,
I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
Going back to autos, do you think clearly I know people are not probably buying autos because the price is so high, but that number is so high, $1 million. Do you think we have a lot of people here that just not getting the car tag?
That's possibly it. Yep, yep. People are not buying new vehicles right now for the reasons that you stated. For the reason that you stated.
Yeah, and also, but I'm saying, do you think people are not just renewing their car tag?
Well, that will be a question for Ms. Lee. Yeah, this is just information that comes from a report from her office. But over to the right, where it says public utility, our public utility is up. The state public utility, it is up $7,904,892. And again, realty is up $4,024,163. Personal, which includes mobile homes, autos, personal property, it's a total of $11,560,990, which gives us an overall increase of $23,490,045.
An increase.
Increase.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yes, ma'am.
That means people are moving to Washington County.
Yep, absolutely.
They know we're open for business.
That's all I have.
Any questions, Ms. Sear?
Thanks, sir.
If not, Ms. Sear, we appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Hansel? Ms. Carter's not here. Do you have a copy of her report?
I explained it
Okay.
to you on when we get out of here.
Arthur, you need to see us?
No, I was
Don't leave, please.
No, you say, because if there's something, I'm about to bypass and talk to you briefly.
Okay, y'all ready? This is Ms. Carter's report. We have expended 106.2% of our budget through September 5th, 2023, compared to a plan of 100%. Okay, any comment on that?
I'm sorry, I did, you said on the
Okay.
106.
Yeah, our cash balance as of September 5th, 2023 is $17,304,252.84. Our ARPA cash balance as of September 5th, 2023 is $5,085,682.96. The total receipts deposited for the period August 18th through the 29th, 2023 total $1,407,911.81. And today, she's requesting board approval of the claims docket totaling $502,431.80. Claims number 234339 through 234703.
So moved to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So Supervisor Brooks await mercy.
Can I say one thing?
Please.
Just to bring everybody, where you see the cash balance, and I said it cost us about $3.5 million a month to operate. So you had a deposit of about 1.4, and we dropped $1 million in our cash on that. So that shows you that's going to be about correct. So moving forward to January, that 17 is going to get ready for it.
Take it
That
off.
cash deposit will be less and less.
Yeah.
And that will take a big hit. So just be mindful when we start trying to add stuff and do things, so. Okay, I'm sorry.
We have travel requests today, requesting travel for the Justice Court judges Cedric Bush, Laverne Carter, and Laverne Simpson to attend the Justice Court Judges Annual State Mandatory Conference on October 3rd through the 6th, 2023 in Oxford, Mississippi, with an estimated cost of $1,825.50.
Need a motion?
So move.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Supervisor Brooks still away from the seat.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Gales, we already approved.
Yes, we've already done the, Mr. Gales, Veteran Service Officer. We have payment requests today. We're requesting payment in the amount of $12,667.46 to NL Carson for payment number, looks like 111 for work performed for ERBR-7604 Murphy Road project.
Is that your picture?
So moved.
Yeah, I got a motion Supervisor Redmond,
Second.
second Supervisor Gordon. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Brooks still away.
Okay. Requesting payment in the amount of $3,333.33 to Andrew L. Smith for monthly grant writing services for the month of September 2023.
So moved.
Got a motion?
You ain't getting from me.
Second.
You,
Ed? Me? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Got
Nay.
one.
Nay.
Brooks still out. All right, come on.
okay, just a minute.
It's hard keeping notes and reading
Yeah.
to it.
Requesting payment in the amount of $2,500 to Andrew L. Smith for administrative and consulting services for the American Rescue Plan Act funds.
So moved.
I got a motion. Said, how long that's supposed to run? How many months? How many months, you remember, Lee?
I can't remember.
Okay, did we get a second?
No, Supervisor Redmond gave me a motion, Supervisor Gordon need a second.
I'm not,
Huh?
you're not getting it from
On
me.
the American Rescue Plan. Second. Come on.
You second.
Yeah. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Got one nay.
Just for your clarification on it, I think that's backwards. I think the American Rescue should be 3333, and the monthly for the grant writings and stuff is 2,500. I think
Excuse
that's
me.
backwards, but you may want to check on that, Ms. Hansel. That's just me
I
thinking.
will. I'll
I
check
think
on
those
that.
those
Yeah,
are
I'll find
backwards.
out. Yeah, okay. All right, the next requesting payment in the amount of $15,200 to Mills and Mills Architect for the design billing invoice, for the kitchen renovations done for the South Washington County Multiplex building.
Jerry?
So moved.
Second.
Probably moved and seconded. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Brooks still out.
Okay. And the other request comes from the Washington County Fourth Circuit Intervention Court. Is requesting the use of a meeting room at the Washington County Convention Center.
4 meeting rooms. Go ahead. Go ahead, the 4 meeting rooms, yeah.
Oh, use of the 4 meeting rooms, thank you, at the Washington County Convention Center on Monday, June 17th.
June 17th,
June 17th.
When is that?
Oh, 2024, from 12 p.m.
Wait a
to 5
minute,
p.m.
wait a minute, wait a
for the
minute,
annual
wait a minute.
Intervention Court graduation ceremony.
Why do I see 2023 on this paper?
That's what's on mine too.
Yeah, but this structure on mine, it's got 4.
It's what now?
It's structure on mine, it's 2024.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody understand? All right, got a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. And that's all that I have from Ms. Carter.
Okay. That dog is 11 o'clock now.
And what I have today to bring to the board is, I have a bond for Michael Allen
I got it,
Ford,
I got it.
who is,
Go ahead.
who is he's a deputy sheriff. Need approval.
So move to approve on the bond.
Bond.
Uh-huh.
I got a motion for a bond. Michael Ford.
Michael Allen Ford.
Michael Ford. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous, Ms. Anderson.
Okay. And there's this memorandum of understanding, Mr. McGray.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about this?
Ms. Griffin does.
Yes,
You do?
yes.
Ms. Griffin.
I recommend you go ahead and approve it. It's for the money that was allocated by the legislature, for Esther Street,
Okay.
Sidney Street, and what's the other street?
You got Esther Street, Sidney Street, Airedale, Airedale, and the Greenville Airport.
So basically, it'd be just going through us, it's city projects? or-
The airport, yeah.
Okay.
The streets, we'll use our equipment and use that money to purchase the asphalt.
Okay, so it's not enough money to contract it out, it's just enough for material-wise?
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
amount on it?
That's 1.1 million total.
It's how much?
1.1 million total, but that
Okay.
600,000 goes to the airport. What they'll do with theirs, they're looking at different projects they'll do. They'll submit invoices, and we'll pay those invoices up to that 600,000.
Okay.
The money will be available once all the contracts are executed. The money will be sent to Washington County to be put in a separate bank account.
I understand that, but if we're doing it ourselves, there will be no, if we're doing it in-house without contracting that out, how's that gonna work?
Well, let me explain to you, the way it works is you have a right to expend that entire.
That'll leave us about $500,000.
Okay. If any money you do not spend, you have 3 years to spend in 36 months on these projects, all right? And if you fail to spend it, you either gonna, you can ask them to modify the conditions.
Who is
Of,
them?
Legislature.
State, the Mississippi Department of Finance and Administration, have to make requests to do them, okay?
Okay.
And they may accommodate your request, and they may not. But the safe thing to do is within the next 36 months to spend that money.
Well, I'm just saying, so that's 3 streets. The only thing I'm saying, say if we do those 3 streets and there's money left over, then you can request modifying to maybe do
Yes.
another one?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So I got a question, is the county sending this money to the city, or the county just gonna do it?
The county the money will be deposited in the county, controlled by the county. The county is responsible for ensuring that these projects are, completed.
Well, and the reason I'm asking too is if there was enough money now, Airedale's a long street, Sydney's kind of a short street, and what was the other one?
Esther Street.
Where's that at?
Metcalf.
Okay, how long is that street?
Half as long as Airedale.
It'll eat most of it up there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it'd be nice if we could contract out and leave our guys on other stuff, but it's not gonna, if it's longer than that, cause
Yeah, it's not
Airedale's
enough.
probably a mile or better.
Well, Airedale is going to have a lot of work done now. I've asked the mayor if they would go ahead and start doing the ditches,
Okay.
the culverts, and prepping to get the turnouts for the driveways.
It's all Airedale and Greenville.
Yeah. Well, no, part of it's in the county. Remember, that's the street I asked everybody.
Large parts in the city. And
Large
then
parts in the
we have a
city.
little
We got the
curve
tail
right there.
end part. And, of course, they needed help, and I think everybody drove down it to see what kind of shape it was in.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate enough to get this 1.1 million for these projects for this legislative session.
Yeah, because if you contract that out, I bet it'd be close to, it'd be more than half of that, for that, just for that
And
street.
keep in mind,
Yeah.
if we run short, either Greenville or Metcalf will have to come up with some funding, because we'll put in a huge amount, but I'm thinking about the cost of asphalt.
It was costing us, and it has went up. I would say probably next year we'll be looking at probably $65,000 or maybe $70,000 per mile on asphalt the way we do it. So it'd be okay.
I got a question, how much was it like for a year?
I think before I figured in, we were spending about 50 or 55 per mile just for material. And then I want to say, if I remember correctly, it was either 25 or 30 chip and seal per mile. Oh, so that was the difference, but
Prices really went up.
Yeah, but and I hadn't done it this year, so I'm sure it's higher, but yeah.
All right, thanks, board. I did carry the motion.
I don't think so.
No, you did
No.
not.
I didn't?
No, sir.
If there are no more questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, Paula just brought over here, some additional items to Ms. Carter's report. And it included that MOU, Mr. President. And now the next request is requesting approval to open a new bank account for the funds that were appropriated for House Bill 603 for the repairs and renovations of Esther Street, Airedale Drive, and Sydney Street per one of the requirements to receiving the funds.
So moved.
I got a motion and a second. Now, you didn't say anything about the airport, did you?
No, I don't.
Because
It's
that's
probably. Maybe
the airport. Yeah, that's 600,000 of that money.
Yeah, well, she may have.
That's 600,000 of that 1.1 million.
Include that in there.
So we're gonna include,
Yes.
the airport road, okay?
All this coming from the same dollars, isn't it?
Same bond, same bill.
Are those two different, two separate things? Because
No, it's all
the
together.
MOU does not mention that.
Oh, the MOU.
You see,
Okay.
I thought it should. It should. 600,000 at 1.1 million dollars is airport improvement.
Is that for the roads out there at the base?
Ms.
or-
McGee,
They-
it says here, is entered into, Department of Finance and Administration in Washington County, repair and renovations of Esther Street, Airedale Drive, and Sydney Street.
Who created the MOU?
They did. Department of Finance.
and Administration. It doesn't
Leave it where it
mention-
is.
And see, it doesn't mention the airport, okay? It's
So
in
is that
the-
money going to the
this
city
money
green?
I have to go straight to them
used
then.
Based upon
What this
what
says.
you approve, it has to be used on these three streets only.
That's 500,000 for those streets.
What's that number on that?
Then perhaps there'll be a separate one. I think you, Mr. President, you probably need to call the Department of Finance.
Yeah, I'll call it back.
About the airport improvements.
Yeah, because it got to be part of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I talked to her last week and she was getting this over.
Okay.
All
You
right,
got a
we'll-
motion to
I got a
open-
motion and a second.
to
All
Open
in-
up a new, checking account,
For those three streets?
yeah,
For the bank account, right?
bank
Yeah,
account.
it's
Okay.
$500,000.
Right.
All in favor, show.
That's it.
Hmm?
I think that's it.
It's 500,000 for that, and then 600,000 for the airport.
But that will go directly to the city, or will it come through us first?
My understanding, it'll come to us,
And then
and we'll
we'll-
be accountable to the Department of Finances to account for it.
Okay.
Right, that's why we have to set up a separate account.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll get with them. And
Yeah. And I think one of these bills originated in the House, this bill originated in the House. I think that the one you talked about originated in the Senate.
both of them came from the House.
It did.
Yeah. Now, it really, let me follow up and find out what went on. But we'll work it out. But we need the money in Washington County right now. That's what this is.
Okay.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Yeah, we're trying to get those funds in Washington County. Let me share this with you all. When it comes to the 600,000, there was a meeting the other day with the airport director, Mr. Washington, Kearns Aviation, South Delta, and they were concerned about the overall condition of the airport and wanted to see a couple of things. Not only would they have access to the 600,000, but would the county be willing to commit 2 or 3 days a month to come out and help them clean up? And of course, my thing was, no, I can't commit to that, but I'd have to talk to the board to see. I said we'd be willing to help to get you all in a position with this 600,000 so you can sustain yourselves. And the board may be amenable to something like that versus, committing to going out there and sending resources out there several times a month, I just wasn't in a position to commit to that. But be thinking about, I want to share that with you just in case it comes up again and that request is made of this board.
Mr. President?
Yes, ma'am.
I really wouldn't have a problem with it, but it'd be the timing. I would think the timing when we're slow.
Oh, no. If they would not want it like now, when I got
We
grass
can-
up.
We really can do that right now. We really could, because we are so behind on so
Everything.
much. I mean, I would like to support them. I was thinking maybe like in December, January,
They
that
talk,
time
they're on
frame.
grass cutting season now.
But right now, we couldn't, because when I ride through the county, I
Yeah.
mean, we got grass high everywhere, but it's much better than it was last year, I will say that. We just couldn't, and then we trying to get our roads done, we just couldn't do it right now.
No. And I'm sorry.
Just while you're at that point, I just wanted to tell y'all, I did talk to Arthur the other day, the armed ones that, on the tractors, we had to send to Louisiana to get attached. They should be back anytime now, if they're not back already.
They should be
Well, I
back
know
this
we
week.
went through a whole summer without, we ordered those things last year. So we was hoping we'd have them by April, mounted this year. We basically went through a whole summer without them, but at least they can get them, at least get these cut back. But if they're not back now, they'll be back any day.
Yeah.
That's
and,
2 of them.
Yeah, they should be back this week for Arthur, but there are several places around the county. Even
All
in
over the county?
Stoneville, yeah.
Yeah.
Where
All
we're gonna,
over county.
yeah, where we're gonna have to go and, use those side cutters. 2 of them is a safety issue where you can't, when you pull up to an intersection from a county road, you have to pull way out to look around. So, what is that? Oh. You have to look around.
But anyway, I
It's
just
overgrowth.
let everybody know
Yeah, so
that
hopefully
they
we get
should
it.
be back. You should start seeing them quickly.
Yeah, this week, hopefully.
I hate that Mr. Perry wasn't here, but something I think we really need to look at, and actually I kind of met with the guys in District 4. I think we need to kind of get a plan set up. Like, if we know the tractors are coming, we need to make sure we weed eat around the poles first and pick up the grass before the tractor comes. So I talked that to Mr. Perry. They kind of started to do it, but we need to make sure it's implemented all over the county before the tractors come. Because actually we are cutting, but we got grass growing up signs. Again, it just kills the vibe when you see the grass is cut.
I agree.
But the grass is all the way up the sign, it's up the railroad track, whatever. So I think that if we get our weed eaters out to weed eat a day before or 2 days before the tractor come, and we pick up grass the day before or 2 days before the tractor come, that way we're not cutting up grass, cutting up paper, and the grass growing up the tree, the tractor to come, but it still looks bad. So I think if we create that our model on how we cut the grass, we can see a big difference in Washington County of our landscaping in our county.
I tell you one other thing we need to do, and this needs to be, that's fine for the first time. How many times have you seen anybody spraying this year? I haven't seen once.
They did spray because I called
Well,
them.
if we had somebody out there coming after that, we could keep this down. Cause we just ain't got enough, you'll never keep up with it. If we weed eat it once and have a man nothing but spraying, then you can halfway keep up with it. It'll look better.
And I agree with you.
Yeah, where you ain't, cause we'll never, like I say, in the peak months, you'll never keep up with it.
Well, what they're doing, they're spraying, the grass is high. They're spraying it and they're leaving it. So you come back, you see brown.
Yeah, get it cut down, then
grass,
spray
and
it.
they never cut it. So, and that's what I did. I literally came out with them. I said, I need y'all to weed eat all of this, pick up the paper, and then y'all can come back and spray. And they did do. We did in the Elizabeth community.
If you do that 2 or 3 times a year, just spraying it after you cut, you
Y'all
keep
gotta
it.
let Jerry in here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, the only thing I want to say is, we invested in a trailer and a truck.
I agree.
And I don't see it picking up any paper
I do.
on the roads. I mean, between Arcola and Hollandale, it really was looking real bad. And yes, cutting, weed eating around these signs, if you weed around and then spray it, you'll control it.
Right.
And then we need to go after we spray it and weed eat it and spray it, those same people could paint the end of these bridges. The grass is growing over the corner of the bridges, and then you need to put some orange paint or whatever the reflector is. It really need to be on those bridges, and it need to do that pretty quick because it's really getting rough. Out here we having accidents everywhere, and I just don't want us to be in fault of it. And I don't know what the sign man do, and I don't know the process. Stop sign, the mowers done cut them up. They've been down so long, the mowers done hit them and cut them up. And we just bought a sign truck. When do we come by? What's the system is on how the sign man know that the sign is down? We have trash piles up on the roadside, so knowing existence and all of us, I witnessed it. But the garbage truck comes through every Monday. And I don't never see the trash thing. Who notified them? If a garbage truck passes by this place and see all this stuff that they don't pick up, why don't they tell somebody that's in the trash truck to come by on what road to do?
The Lamb should be on the same route, but we'll follow up.
What I'm gonna say, just follow up Mr.
Perry.
Supervisor Redmond just said, the little people are out there.
The what now? Oh, litter people.
The little people,
I
the people
got
that's picking up the garbage, you know, just picking up the litter in the community.
Okay.
In the county. You right, you probably won't see them, Mr. Supervisor. But the dilemma is we really, and I said this before, we really need two, one for the northern part of the county, one from the southern part of the county, because it is really a lot for 3 people to try to pick up paper all over the county. I mean, if you come to District 4, you may be there one day, and then you gotta go way over to District 5. And so it's really hard for them to really keep a system going because we don't have enough. So the concern is, I think we really need to think about this. I know we got our budget together for this year. We really need to, next year, the next board really need to consider 2 litter trucks. We need to keep one in the northern part of the county and one in the southern part of the county, and I think it'd be more effective on a system for them on how we kind of control litter in our county.
We have 2 knucklebone trucks.
No, that's close.
And this is, I'm not talking about the papers and cup. I'm talking about the trash piled up.
You talking about the bigger the knuckle?
Right. That
Oh.
couches and chairs are sitting out there a month. And I know we got knucklebone trucks to come by and pick them up, but they don't know. I didn't know. I wanna know, how do they know if a garbage truck passes by and pick up the garbage can, somebody need to radio and let the knucklebone truck know they need to come.
I agree with Jerry, because I get some of those calls too. They need to be on the route, a certain route every time. But let me say this on both of those, and I'm not against that maybe going in next year, because I think, but here's the problem I have with both of those. I was taking some, and I've seen this several times, I was taking some stuff out to the dump, and I've seen both of those trucks, the boom truck and the truck you talking about, going to the dump half loaded. You're wasting time, you're wasting gas. Get the thing loaded. I called Arthur. I said, Arthur, that is a waste going there and back. Have that thing loaded to the max. When you go dump, then come back. You're wasting time on the road. So that's 2. But if they're doing what they need to be doing with those, I'm not against it. And like I said, we look at it because it is effective if you're doing it right and stuff. So, but no, I did, and I had the same thing. And you need to call Arthur, and I'll call him too. They need to be on a certain route, because I had the same guy call, said they never come through. He has to call me every month for them to come through there. So we got 2 of them. We just bought one this past year. So we should have one on each end of the county so they can work it, you know.
They're supposed to be on this route with the
I know.
trash and the same day. Something is not happening. If you don't see the knuckle boom come through, the trash truck come through behind the garbage truck.
Yeah.
But it has to be worked out.
Okay.
Talking about the knuckle boom truck, trash trailers, Ms. Griffin, we still need some help in talking about trash all over the county. There's being trash moved around in open containers, trailers, knuckle booms or whatever, without covers. And this trash is falling out all over the place. All up and down 82, going out to the landfill out there, going north on Broadway, going to the landfill north, the northern part of the county. We actually, if there's already a law on the books, we need to establish that. And we need to communicate that appropriately, and then get the sheriff department to start writing citations or giving warnings.
I think we did communicate that a couple of years ago.
No, we talked about this. No, we just talked
Broadway
about
extended.
this last year, and I
Broadway
thought it was
extended.
understood. I was saying, Mr. President, we talked about this last year about the top, not Dr. Tops, and I thought it was understood from that meeting that it was that we're gonna start writing fines, the county, with that.
Right.
Because I think he did the research and found the legislation was saying, you know, that it is a fine for that.
What we need to do is publish a warning, a notice in the paper that we're going to enforce this law vigorously on Washington County roads.
Yes.
Okay.
And-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
on Washington County roads, and, you know, with hauling trash in open trailers, and the issue with the litter that we're having.
I think we need to do 2 things. First, we need those who we can identify who are doing that,
Mhm.
we need to give them personal notice.
Okay.
Okay, you know, it's not enough.
Washington County, number one. City
Thank
of
you.
Green-
There you go. That's what I was gonna
City-
say.
city-
I had video, I was looking for it. Our trucks is one of the main ones with it. You're right, Carl.
Washington County, number one.
That's
City-
right.
City of Greenville, number two.
Dropping stuff off
And
438.
the companies who have these disposal boxes.
That's right.
Give them proper notification. It's an enforcement thing. You know, I wouldn't say send one to Hendricks Landfill, you know, because they don't enforce the law. I wouldn't say send one to Kenny Aaron, they don't enforce the law. It's up to us to enforce the law, but what we have to do is make sure we notify the city of Greenville, all the municipalities, because once trash leaves, once that violation leaves their corporate limits and into the county, you know, then we'll cite it.
You can't cite the city.
Oh, man, I said notify them that we're going to be citing, but the city of Greenville has trucks that they don't have covers on, Mr. Griffin.
I think if you send them all those, Carl, like you just named, just a letter, I think that covers a big part of them, and you're right, starting with us.
Why not?
What you say?
Seek their cooperation, but you cannot cite another.
Oh, no, we would, but we're gonna give them a fair warning if they come through into the county with open cover.
I mean, we need to hold them accountable.
We can hold them accountable.
They're no bigger than no other company. that's
All right,
doing-
y'all, we got a 6
I
o'clock.
hear you. What I'm saying is, they got to do right in the county.
We got your report still.
And I agree with you 100%.
We got your report.
Okay, I just got these.
Why not? We just stop them from coming through.
Okay, y'all gotta let me get this over, let me get back, you know, we got a 6 o'clock.
So I got a question. So let's say one of the municipalities say, well, we're not gonna cover.
Who that?
If a municipality say, we're not gonna cover,
We're gonna give them $500 fine.
Well, then, can we just stop them from driving in the county till they cover?
You may be able to do that, but you cannot cite them and fine them, okay?
Okay. We'll do what her.
I think they'll go along, they'll do what they're supposed to.
But keep one thing in mind, before that vehicle with that uncovered load gets to the county, it's trashing up the city limits.
Yes, sir.
Drive through the incorporated areas, you think I'm joking. We have video of trash coming out within the corporate limits. That was one the other day, right there at MLK and Old Leland Road, right there by Beans. Took off 2 big pieces of decking came off. Decking is heavy, and laid in the middle of the street. They kept on going, and so we got to somebody came along and was getting that decking out of the way, and it happened to be one of the company that hauls the containers for the county.
So we gotta hold our own people.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It happens to be one of that
Are
company.
they independent contractor?
Yeah.
You can cite an independent contractor, but you can't cite your own.
Well, let me do this for you. We have a contract with them that I'm gonna give you all the number of what you spent on this service this fiscal year. And I don't know if we budgeted something this coming year for it, but we spent well over $200,000. Yeah. But the question the board's gonna have to ask, we're gonna have to answer is, do we wanna continue that service?
I think.
We didn't put it in the budget.
We didn't put in the budget. I think the service itself should be continued, but I think we as a county may wanna look at just getting our own in the future if we spend 200,000.
You remember they they actually brought some prices, and we looked at that of us buying our own, and that's what we're kind of working to. But if I remember correctly, the truck to do
Delivery
it
on the
was
truck.
2 years out or something like that. But yeah, we are looking into getting our own stuff.
I'm gonna give
and
you
I
a-
agree, but at the very least, the people that's hauling it for us, we need a letter sent them say, hey, we represent this county, and we don't want our stuff. You know, we start with us putting a cover on it. We're paying you, and we want a cover on the thing. And if we see it without it, we're gonna be very upset with that.
Well, and I think what need to happen is, we need to identify these contractors and send them notice that they have a duty to cover those trucks. As Ms. Brooks said, I thought it was 2 years ago that we did this. Ms. Brooks said it was last year. I think it was 2 years ago.
No.
We talked about this.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
Contractors?
No, as far as the
No.
covering.
We spoke about this, and we did the research and verified that it was illegal for you to be dumping, for stuff to be blowing out of your vehicles onto the roadways, okay? And, I thought we had taken some action to address this issue, but since we did not, we're gonna address it again, all right? I'm gonna prepare a specific notice And if that includes putting it in the paper, we can do that as well. But we need to identify who these haulers are, and so that we can put it in their hands.
These unfriendly environmental haulers.
Okay,
Well,
we
I'm gonna tell you,
understand.
a lot of what you see on 82 is going to the dump. That's where that's coming from, off the back of those trucks.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
All right.
I do have
Yes.
another question,
Come on,
Mr.
Ms.
President.
Yeah, ma'am.
So I know we do have a company. Do we have to advertise every
Every year.
year on?
I
who's
think it would be
doing that?
wise to.
We have to look and see how long the
I think we bid it out again, but I think it's wise
Well, we
to
didn't-
bid
we
it
didn't
every
bid it
year.
for
Do we have a contract?
I have to look back and see.
Well, hold it.
We
Do
didn't-
we
we
have
do,
a
yeah.
contract, or is it month to month?
Well, we had a contract, but it was a month-to-month
It
contract.
started out
Yeah,
like that.
and but I would think it would be wise to look at it and bid it out yearly
Yeah.
on that.
I do.
Now, what we need to do, I'm gonna give you a number, we can find a truck, and we'll order our own boxes, and we'll find a
The
truck.
boxes wasn't the trouble, it was the truck.
We can order a
You know,
truck.
We can get the boxes. we
It's
just
gonna be a
couldn't get the truck.
it's gonna be a used truck, and it may be fairly new, but let me get you a number.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Hey.
with the beginning of the fiscal year, we have a month-to-month contract. We need to go ahead and advertise for bidders to haul this stuff.
These
away.
containers.
Okay, yes.
Which part it was pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Yeah, I think it's good we bid that
Be
out here.
fair.
Second.
Make it
Proper move in
competitive.
second.
Maybe the president-
And I do, in the contract, that's part of the bid, and that's required to have
Right.
covers on them when they leave the
Exactly.
site.
Part of the specs.
Yep.
All right,
And this is for
The
dumpsters.
countywide.
countywide dumps, yes,
Yeah.
placement of dumpsters.
And this will be for the next fiscal year starting in
Well,
October.
don't do it a year, let's take a look, see if we can bring this in-house.
Yeah.
All right, we're behind. Ms. Hansel, it's on you.
You
Clerk
didn't carry the
report.
motion.
I didn't?
No, sir.
Sorry, thanks, Ms. Brooks. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We've been here too long.
Okay, while we were sitting in here, these drainage district, tax levies came in and the board needs to go ahead and approve these. This is
Drainage.
from both Pelagia Drainage District. They're asking the county for 17.4% of the benefit for their tax levy.
No change.
No change.
Okay. So moved to approve.
Got a motion? I need
Second.
and a second. No questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, that's
The
unanimous.
next one is for Riverside Drainage District, and it's also 17.4%.
No change in that
No
one also.
change,
So
right.
moved.
So,
You got a motion and a second? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
The
Motion
next one
carries.
is for Black Bayou Drainage District, it's for 22.9%,
No change in it.
no change.
So moved.
We got a motion?
second.
and a
kinda
second.
late them
All
getting
in
to
favor,
us, and
show by
we're-
sign of
They
aye.
thought they had to be in here today.
Any opposed?
But if there was a change, then that
Ms.
means
Hansel,
there's been a
that's
change in
unanimous, that, Ms. Hansel?
our tax rate, if it had been a change.
Not that much.
Yeah.
It says, for instance, every lot, parcel of land divided into tracts, not in an incorporated city or town with an assessed benefit of $70 or less, a tax of $13.
There
That's
we-
that's what's added.
Okay, that's what, yeah, but that's no change from last year.
No, no
Okay,
change.
gotcha, yep.
Same thing.
Done.
Mr. Griffin, you got that?
Yeah, I have a notice of claim, Mr. President, from Cox and Moore. And I'm gonna recommend that this be turned over to our insurance carrier,
What is that on?
City Sheriff Department, so
Okay,
it's
gotcha,
a notice of claim.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I need a motion
So moved.
and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Griffin?
And
That's all.
what was the motion
Turn it over.
to turn it over
Claims.
To the insurance company.
to the insurance company? Thank
Okay.
you.
Anything else? We'll go to Ms. Hansel, clerk's report. Ms.
I've
Hansel,
given you mine.
you have?
Yeah, all I need you to do is allow me to copy documents into the records.
All right.
So moved.
So let me get the sheriff department.
Okay.
I don't think we have that today, but I would say, thank y'all for allowing us to use the community center on August the 30th, when the first day, and appreciate everything that y'all did. Thank y'all.
Sheriff, what you
Hey, man.
73?
Sheriff, you have,
Were you 73?
62.
Sheriff, tell him yeah. Just say yeah. Just say yeah. All right. Lee, you good?
I'm good.
Ms. Brooke?
Yeah, also, two things.
I'm gonna come on around. Say that. Say that. Come on. Come on.
I was trying to make sure that you get your presented, Ms. Hanson, for your thing that.
oh, I'm not gonna do it.
You're not gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it later.
All right, Ms. Brooke?
Just want to talk about this past weekend. You know, we had 2 killings in Washington County, and they were on both, you know, women. And unfortunately, we've been hearing more and more crimes, not just in Washington County, I'm just gonna say statewide, where, you know, women are being killed. And I just think we need to bring more awareness to this in our communities. You know, it's very disheartening to hear about these type of murders. One lady, I talked to her mother, she told me her daughter's at home cooking, and they shot up this lady's house. It was her and her daughter there. And the concern, and they're saying they got the wrong house, but a mother with 3 kids died. In Leland, a mother with 6 children, you know, they were killed. So I just think, you know, we're hearing more and more about this. I remember in Jackson at the time, we went to the service station. I stopped going to the service station in Jackson because they had like 3 women getting killed at a service station. I just think we got to bring more awareness in our community and identify. And most of these murders are taking place now, they're with young men. Young men. It's, you know, and I don't know the answer, but I think we just got to bring the awareness to our communities on how to address this issue. How do we start talking about it? I talked to the sheriff briefly about it. Clearly it's not an answer, but we got to start having conversation about what is really going on in our communities. And even with the drugs. It's not the traditional drugs, okay? When I think of drugs, I think about crack, I think about weed, I think about cocaine. That's what comes to my mind. But it's not about that anymore. It looks like candy now. You can have 7th graders right now eating candy. You think it's candy, and they are getting high. And we got to start talking to our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers, because that's who's raising the children today. And they have no inkling of what's going on in our community. And even in the schools, I know the schools are doing as much as they can, but we can't put it all on the schools. And with our law enforcement, we can't put it all on the sheriff department to say we got to fix this problem. It's really a holistic problem that we got to address. I'm just gonna talk about Washington County. I'm not talking no other county right now. How do we make our county better? Because y'all, we got some real concerns going on that I don't know the answer, but we got to start working collectively with our community leaders, with our pastors, with our schools, with all our leaders, because I think if we all come together and we start addressing these issues, I think we can really start seeing, even with our newspaper, you know, bringing awareness in our community as well. I know you do the news, but we got to come up with some solutions on how do we make Washington County a safer community, because it's real scary. It makes you want, like, I got to get away from here. I want to migrate away from here because it feels so unsafe, but I love this. I love Washington County. I love our community. But it feels so unsafe at this time.
I don't know where you're going.
But that's what it
you
feels
say
like.
you're gonna leave here, I don't know where you're going.
Well, a lot of people, I
It's
migrate away from
everywhere.
here.
The only solution you got is try to pray and get them, the man upstairs to look
No.
at.
Understand what Supervisor Brooks is saying. We as law enforcement, we try to do everything that we can do. I think at some point in time here, we're gonna come up with some kind of way that we're gonna have to have some type of meeting. You're gonna have to bring in parents, like I said, leaders, ministers, business, whatever we have to bring in. We have to talk about it and see it here. But we can't leave out home. Somebody raised these children. And some of these young kids that are committing crimes in here stay at home with their parents.
Grandparents.
And so we ought to be able to tell the parents in here, just like I had kids in here, and I had to look in my house. I had to give them a curfew. I had to check the car that I bought. I could go in my bedrooms in my house and then look around everything I want to. Those are some things that we got to do now.
Sure.
We know there are more guns out there. It's not passing no gun laws to tell them that they can't have them, they give them to them. So we got to deal with these issues here, and they're gonna take the whole Washington County to deal with this issue here. And so I'm open to any time that we can get together and get a group together and we talk
that, it's gotta be, you're right, and I'm like, I don't know the answer to it, but it's gotta be some real meetings, something, but here, I do know this. We've handcuffed the schools, we've handcuffed the law enforcement, people don't fear their teachers anymore, they don't fear their law enforcement, something's gotta change. When you went to school, when I went to school, we feared our teachers. Not only did we fear them, we respected them after that. That's no longer the case. We make excuses for bad behavior now instead of saying, no, this will not be tolerated. I still believe in this country and in this county, there are way more good people than there are bad people, and people are gonna have to take a stand to say, we've had enough of this, because I'm like you, it's not the one, it's the people that out there that's catching a stray bullet, because look, that can happen to anybody sitting around this table. And so if we don't address that at some point, and I understand, but in my opinion, that's what we've done. We've handcuffed so many people. I ask these teachers now, what's the difference? You run across a teacher who's been teaching 30 or 40 years, what's the difference now and when you first started? And they'll tell you what it is. They have no control because their hands are tied, because if they do it, they're the bad guy. If the sheriff and the police go out, they're the bad guy on it. So but it's got to be some serious conversation. But I do think just denying it and saying, oh yeah, no, that's not going to make it. I don't know the answer either. But you're going to have to take people, white and black, and every other person in this county to sit down and say, hey, this is the right way that we need to start, and we've got to start making them, because you're right. We are going to lose people if it continues on. Because if we're honest with ourselves, probably a lot of the people, if they don't do it, it does go through their mind to leave here if they don't do it. So we've got to address it. But I think moving forward, we do, along with the sheriff, the police chief, and everybody, say, hey, let's start having some serious get-togethers. Churches, pastors, like the sheriff said, people that but it takes everybody to do this. But again, I don't know the answer, but I do know the answer. Doing nothing, you'll get nothing in return.
20-year-old grandmother is number one problem, that ain't never been a mother.
All right.
And this is a growing problem.
Hey.
I ain't never been to Florida.
I appreciate the conversation. And y'all, everybody's right. You good, Jerry?
Yeah.
Jazz, you good? Patrick?
I do have one thing.
For who?
Toward Ms. Brooks.
Ms. Brooks.
The newspaper.
Towards me?
Yeah, towards
Question for you.
And the board.
Oh.
The newspaper, y'all sound like y'all got a soapbox issue here about
What?
about what's going on in the community. You could also use the newspaper to your advantage. This sounds like an editorial letter to the editor type issue that we're discussing. And also to Mr. Smith's point, relationship, the relationship was never meant to be adversarial. So if you have something that needs to be amended or corrected, y'all, everybody got my phone.
I agree.
I'm not gonna do y'all like that.
Appreciate it.
Can I
All right,
say something, sir?
Ms. Brooks, go ahead.
Mr. Irvin, when I said the media as well, I'm just saying the media want to be at the table too. When we start talking about how do we improve our community, because what Supervisor Lee just said is not a partisan issue, it's not a racial issue.
Right.
It's a human rights issue at this point.
Awareness. And this is one way.
Yeah.
While worse could have heard about what's going on in the community, I'll start that awareness. So write a letter to the editorial, let us take the
Yes, sir.
picture in there.
Okay.
I got two things we're gonna get out of here. We'll be back for 6 o'clock. Mr. Griffin.
Yes, sir.
And board, I don't know if all of you are aware of it, but we lost a member of our levy board of commissioners, Mr. Hank Burdine, last week. And of course, he was funeralized last week. And that leaves that particular opening on the levy board of commissioners. Mr. Griffin.
Is it just that one
No,
opening?
there is a Fred ballot, but we'll talk about that position as well. Go ahead.
We can talk about both of them.
Yeah.
The law says that when there are vacancies in these positions, it's up to this board to fill those positions because they're county positions.
Are these
level
appointed or
positions.
elected positions we're talking?
They are elected positions, but you fill them
Until the
until the
election.
next special or regular election, okay? So, y'all need to think about that, how you gonna go about doing that.
Okay.
because you know, you have to fill them. I think it says no later than 30 days, okay?
So we need to have a name by the next meeting. Two
Well,
names or one name?
I would
No, no,
advise
no,
that you.
No, no, what we
apparently-
need is you to contact that attorney over there.
Okay.
And get some clarification.
Who is the attorney? I know who it is.
I think, yeah, you can-
It's down at Lake Tender. I know who it
and
is.
then let us know.
Okay.
All right. Is that okay with the board?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So how long will the next election be? How long is that out? You don't know?
You'll come back.
Well, they have to have a special election, right?
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
It's interesting. The regular levy board elections are still, I believe, in May. Okay. And unlike our elections, they're held generally in May and June, if I'm not mistaken. So, but we, you know, the statute does not address when these special elections ought to be held. They simply say you have to have a special election.
Okay.
to
If
fill
it's
those
so far
positions.
out from the regular election.
Well, it says that any position that's gonna be vacant for at least 6 months, you set a special election.
Gotcha.
If it's more than 6 months, if it's less than 6 months, you can appoint to the next regular election.
Gotcha.
So, Ms. Griffin, if you'll reach out to their attorney,
Yes.
come back and advise us.
Okay.
We'll move from there. One last thing, 6 o'clock PM, public hearing on the budget. And hopefully we'll see the majority of you there. All right.
All right.
I need a motion to recess until 6 PM this afternoon.
So moved.
And a second. Properly moved and seconded, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. And what I'll do is I'll have one of the ladies from the administration office to be here, unless y'all got something planned already, Ms. Hans. All right. Yeah. 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 Well, we gotta have,